Crossover. Oh, killer crossover. Just crossover. It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
It is time for the crossover, powered by Everlook Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlookconcrete.com. Baseball, Werner Park, Connor Happer.
Baseball. That is right. And, folks, it's time for Dallas Keuchel to throw 88 today. Let's go.
Hey, is he pitching? Because word last night at the park is that he might have been on a taxi squad down Interstate 29.
Interesting. I guess I don't know that for sure, but I did just speak with Nick Batters, and that I implicated that he was pitching today, and he didn't correct me. So that's what I know.
Yes. So we get Dallas Keuchel the day after Hunter Green pitched 51 pitches last night on rehab.
Yeah, he got looked like he got beat up a little bit. Struck out 6, but he got pushed around by the mighty Omaha Storm Chasers. Not bad.
He is the king of giving up solo home runs when he pitches at Werner Park.
Well, it's a tough place to pitch. It is. It's a bit of a launch pad out here. But here's the thing today. We are getting a little bit of a cool breeze coming in. So all of a sudden those winds start to change and it becomes a different ballpark. Wind starts blowing in from left a little bit. I don't know. You never know.
The last time I was at Werner Park, I won one of their contests for a bobblehead bundle. The only one we have out of the box, and I'll send you a picture later on, both of you guys, what I do have. The only one out of the box, Tsunami.
Oh, nice. That's a great mascot.
My daughter has that, the little bobblehead. You can take the flag off. She loves it.
Now, are you just doing your show or are you doing duties?
I'm not doing both today.
Okay.
We're just gonna do the show. We're just gonna sit up here. So if anybody wants to drop by, I assume you'll be popping up behind me in a mere like 40 minutes or something like that. So that's kind of exciting. No MC stuff today.
Okay. Hey, did you know that?
I gotta keep Joey company.
Did you know that Sydney Sweeney apparently is a Nazi?
Well,
oh man,
no. I did not. I mean, I'd heard some rumblings on the internet about this, but
we don't usually talk about Nazis on the crossover, so I get it. You're taken back a bit.
The underhit's very early today. I don't know where that came from. What is going on? I understand that she did the American Eagle thing, but I don't know why people are saying that about her.
I don't know where that came from. Was something they were talking about on the WNBA broadcast yesterday too.
And right before they zoomed in on that thing.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
So I'm trying to educate myself on why she's being attacked because I have no idea. I thought it was just an ad for her jeans, but it's everywhere this morning. And I'm like, I kind of like Sydney Sweeney. I don't like Nazis.
Is it the blonde hair, blue eyes thing?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just staying out of it.
Joey's the smartest one out of all of us. He's like, nope. Let's do the. I don't know. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why that's happening. I mean, it seems like just the internet kind of doing its thing. You know what I mean?
So, what is a more uncomfortable conversation on sports talk radio? Nazis or dildos?
Great question.
Can that be your first poll, by the way?
Question?
No poll question, Joey. No poll question.
Standing by.
But he was going to do it if I didn't say no just then.
Hey, you don't get the show.
Exactly. No, we'll stick to poll questions about Dallas Keuchel and stuff like that today. So weird. What is going on in our society?
Bills Mafia got into a WNBA game last night.
Is that where it came from?
That's what I'm just going to assume.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't think they're the only ones that walk around with those, and begin to throw them places. I'm not sure.
That's a question we have not broached.
Is it
why did you have that? If they are in Bill's Mafia, then the questions are pretty much over by then. You know the answer to it. It's like, I just have this on me all the time.
I thought they were
I needed to throw it.
I thought they were usually just like jumping through tables.
Yeah, jumping through tables, but they that
in the off season.
Yeah, well, there was a game a year or two ago where all of a sudden they started flying onto the field. I don't know. They they're really organized, that Bills Mafia. They got their stuff together.
I do, because I think Josh Allen is a really, really good guy. Like Joe Burrow as well. They happen to play in the same conference as my team, so I want to win as many Super Bowls as possible. But I'm starting to find myself rooting, not for the Bills or the Bengals, but I want to see Josh Allen and Joe Burrow do well.
I have seen this sentiment from Chiefs fans that they're like, they've beaten Josh Allen so many times now in the playoffs that they're starting to feel bad for him. Like, they won't go as far as they want him to get one, but they hope it's not at expense of the Chiefs, which like 100% of the time it's going to be at the expense of the Chiefs. Like, can't we spread the love a little bit? Can't we let Josh Allen get this, get one ring and then get out of the way for, let Josh Allen get one, let Lamar Jackson get one. Yeah. I think Joe Burrow had his chance. He blew it. They won the game the one time against the Chiefs. He blew it. I think that's my opinion on Joe Burrow.
It's nice to see some evolution from the Chiefs fans instead of just every offseason thinking the world's out to get them and everyone's picking the Chargers and no one's ever picking the Chiefs, when every single offseason, all of the power rankings and preseason stuff says Chiefs. So good on you, Kansas City fans, for not being victims this time around.
Yeah, great job, Gary.
They are the modern-day New England Patriots. That's what I always say.
All right, Joey. Okay, so
for the record, I am not disrespecting the Chiefs, and I will never disrespect the Chiefs. I have actually come in their post, like, scoring 50 points a game era, which we're in right now. I have come to respect them more. I've thought to myself, how do they keep doing this? How do they keep getting away with this? And the answer is, it's just the Chiefs, and they're inevitable, and there's nothing anybody could do about it, including Josh Allen. So that's sad.
Hey, like the co-host on 1620 The Zone, Mitch Holtus on USC. You can doubt the Chiefs, you can dislike the Chiefs, but you can also disrespect us, but you got to deal with the Chiefs.
Yeah, Mitch has become a bit of a villain in that world. The more and more they win, the more and more he gets. It feels like he gets like literal gasoline every time the Chiefs win a game. It just keeps him going further and further.
And he'll be joining John and Josh at 420 today and through the rest of life in general.
Forever. Yes. He'll be on forever.
Okay.
Headley writes on the YouTube, he says, I'm happy to disrespect the Chiefs if you need someone to do so. Yeah, you guys do it at your own risk. Go ahead. Joey, are you going to disrespect the Chiefs?
I don't feel like it today.
Right.
I'm not today.
In the mood. Today is a good day.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm more focused on Mike Tannenbaum's QB rankings in the NFC. Got Jordan Love #1. I know a particular person's not happy about that.
I would not cite the source being Mike Tannenbaum, but that's just me.
Hey, okay? If it says that your guy's #1, you're going to say that guy's the best.
Hey,
yes,
so
sir.
You and I were talking yesterday. We were on Hug Watch. There were no hugs given at the Storm Chaser game last night. There probably will not be, considering who's in Omaha. But what would you rather have happen? Be traded mid-game or be traded in the middle of a doubleheader to the team you just played against?
That was awesome. I love that.
That is phenomenal.
It feels like we get that maybe once every couple years now. A guy just walks over to the other side and he's like, yeah, come on over. And the other one last night was, of course, Duran from the Twins, simply just hugging the bullpen catcher just because they're friends. And everyone is like, "Oh my God, he's traded. It's over." That was that's life on the deadline, I suppose.
Hug Watch. I can't imagine, like, they had great video of the pitcher for the Blue Jays walking down the tunnel, like walking into the clubhouse against the team that you just played against that just beat you.
It's weird. Do you because I saw what was his name again? Dominguez, who got traded from the Orioles to the Blue Jays yesterday. Like, the video of him walking out to the Blue Jays bullpen for the second game instead of in the Orioles bullpen. And he was like waving and he gave a couple hugs. Like, is he reintroducing himself to them? Because like life changes all of a sudden when you wear a different uniform, and it just feels different. Even if that uniform has an upside down 8 on it, which was the case with him yesterday. That was awesome. That's why baseball is fantastic.
Get in there and just write, hey, good win, boys. Hey,
Yeah.
good job today. Let's go get 2.
Now I hate you. Like what is that? What is this? It's very, very odd.
Okay, so one other thing happened yesterday. It was announced that Happy Gilmore had 46.7 million viewers for the first 3 days. Pretty good record for Netflix. Canelo Crawford's coming up in September. I imagine they will do a big number. But what do you think if you were a Blockbuster executive and you saw that number yesterday and you were like, you know what? Remember the day when Netflix tried to look for a bailout and they approached us about buying them for $50 million? And we said, nah, we're good. Blockbuster no longer exists. And Netflix today is worth $500 million.
Yeah.
Is Netflix the greatest comeback story in business?
Is it a comeback story?
Well, they wanted a bailout. They were done. They were like,
right.
hey, can you save us, Blockbuster? And Blockbuster said, nah, we're good. We got our own.
Yeah. I think it's more of like a right place, right time story. Maybe almost like Zoom. You know, I don't know why everybody started using Zoom instead of Skype during COVID, but it happened. It's the first time I ever heard of Zoom before. And I don't know why everyone just, gravitated over to Netflix, but obviously they've taken, a little bit of good, and then they've run with it. My question was, and we'll ask this a little bit later on in the show, is Happy Gilmore 2 the greatest Netflix movie ever? Is it the best straight to Netflix, like Netflix only release that we've ever seen?
It's not even the best of the month.
What do you mean?
It's not even, sir. Turn on Netflix. Go watch you some K-pop Demon Hunters. All right.
What in the hell are you talking about?
I said the same thing.
Turn on K-pop Demon Hunters. Reevaluate your life and get back to me.
I can't believe you brought it up again, Caleb.
Again? You think this will be the last time?
Probably not.
What is a K-pop Demon Hunter?
It's something.
What's
Connor.
going on?
It's an original Netflix production. It is now their most watched original animated film ever. And it's got more than 26 million views already.
Well, that doesn't mean that I should watch it.
I think you would enjoy it.
it.
Hey, do you like music? Do you like fun? Do you like life?
Those are very broad things, Caleb. I like all those things. That does not make me want to watch K-pop Demon Hunter.
Well, K-pop Demon Hunters hits all 3 of those for you.
So does Happy Gilmore.
Okay,
they got some good music in there. Leonard Skinner.
Yes, they do.
There's no Skinner in K-pop Demon Hunters.
I figured there wouldn't be. Yeah.
I still think there's still some people that haven't watched it. There are no spoilers. I went back and watched it yesterday. Can we talk about like the first 3?
Yeah.
Caleb hasn't watched it. Like the first 3 minutes.
Tough hang.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a tough hang. Yeah.
Like they struggle getting back into it. But then once they get going, it's all right.
Well, it's kind of like a smack in the face, I would say, is the best way to describe it.
Yeah,
Good way to put it, Jake.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I think me and my wife both out loud were like, what? And then we were second guessing everything. We were like, uh-oh, this is not going to be good. And then, I just went along for the ride. And I think, like I said, I still think it's too long, but I ended up enjoying myself the entire movie. What happens in the first, like they use it, right? They at least use it. It doesn't happen for no reason. It's not just like, oh, this big thing happened and then it just goes away and it never is addressed again. No, that is used as a base jump point for the rest of the movie.
Sorry if we ruined it for you. Brian says a couple of movies that are like considered the best that went straight to streaming. He said this one's not on Netflix, but Hulu. I remember watching this, Palm Springs.
Yeah.
I think the movie club, like a couple of weeks ago, they reviewed that. He said on Netflix, it is discussed that The King Q, or no, this is The King. The King is the best straight to streaming movie on Netflix ever.
I haven't seen that one.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I haven't seen. Oh, is that a Chalamet joint?
Chalamet.
Yep.
Chalamet. So I don't know where to go on this. Like I don't know what the option is. First of all, it's hard to tell what are original Netflix movies. I've said this before. I I didn't like, but I watched the Jason Bateman airport movie. I think that was over like Christmas this year. That was weird. A Netflix original movie, but those are the type of movies I think about. Like they're just weird and dumb, and they're for like 12 people. But and then all of a sudden people start watching them. This was more broad audience. It has an existing fan base in Happy Gilmore. Like I think you could make the case that it is the best Netflix original movie of all time. It certainly is up there in the most watched.
Pete Davidson's movie, The King of Staten Island, was straight to streaming, right?
Oh,
yes.
Was it? It was, yeah. Why do I recall? Maybe no, I wouldn't have seen that in the movie theaters.
Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Okay, I'm looking at this Reddit thing right now, and they mentioned that one.
It's a Coen Bros one. Coen Brothers.
The Old Guard is popping up a lot. See, these movies I've never heard of. Like for whatever reason, these Netflix movies, they like don't break contain.
The Irishman.
People, they're just kind of Netflix movies, and the people who are just on Netflix all the time use it. I'm not on Netflix all the time. I hardly use Netflix. I have to like seek it out, which is, kind of annoying because they make you pay so much money now. It's a lot of money for
There's a lot to choose from.
It's
watching movies, and I'm spending like 15 minutes picking out a movie, and I end up going to cable television.
But it's all garbage. It's all garbage on Netflix. Cable television.
It's not all garbage, and I can tell you at the top of the list of not garbage is K-pop Demon Hunters.
K-pop Demon. So let me get like a quick synopsis on this. K-pop Demon Hunters. Whoa. Why?
Great. Just the whoa.
A world-renowned K-pop girl group balances their lives in the spotlight with their secret identities as demon hunters.
Yes.
And this just came out a month ago. Wow. It's got a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
You're right, buddy.
Wow.
That's impressive.
See, but like I'll see that on there and I'll be like, I'll just skip over. It's like I would have never seen it in the first place. You know what I mean? I don't know what would possess me to watch that other than
probably a demon. And it sounds like you need K-pop Demon Hunters to get you unpossessed.
You and then 40 other people would have to tell me, actually, no, you have to go watch this movie. It's pretty good. You'll enjoy it. In order for me to actually watch it, because it's hard for me to imagine seeking this out myself. Although the ratings are, I don't know, that's kind of interesting.
We can't turn off the movie, but let alone the soundtrack. Like we're playing the soundtrack on our smart device at home. And
so is this a kids related situation?
It can be like you can watch it with kids. I don't think it is targeted towards children. No, it's not Frozen. Like I can tell you
that. Hey Caleb. So since I don't get to talk about this with many people at 1620 The Zone because not many of them are fathers who have young children. Did you watch a lot of Bluey when your child was young?
You're using past tense. I watched Bluey yesterday.
Dude, Bluey rocks.
It is so good. Okay, quick. How have you watched all of Bluey yet, or are you still going through it?
No, there must be thousands of episodes, and they're all 8 minutes long, and
you will watch them all multiple times.
I don't even know where we're at right now. I think we're in season 3 or something like that.
You haven't
there
gotten
must be
to
40 seasons.
There is one that's almost a half hour. That's one of their more recent ones. It's a big one. It's an emotional roller coaster. Do you have a favorite episode?
Yes. So far, it's the one where I watched this with me and my daughter when my wife was gone at some point last week. And then we were all sitting there, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. And I was like, you know what? We got to go back and watch this episode. It was called Sleepy Time.
Yeah, Sleepy Time is good.
Yeah, so it's a dream. They're in a dream and they're like floating around.
And you got to get Bunny, and the Earth is like an egg. Yeah.
You got it.
The mom's the sun. Yeah, it's so good. But when you get to it, I cried watching the episode Cricket. It's beautiful.
Okay, Cricket. Yeah, all right. I'll do that. I can't wait. When is that? Is that going to be like a year from now, or is it going to be like in a couple weeks?
No, that's later into the latest season. I can't remember if there are 3 seasons, 4 seasons.
Okay. Oh, there's only 4 seasons. Man, we're rolling through them.
Yeah, it's quick. Well, when they're 5-minute episodes, you know.
They are. So I wouldn't advise anybody else, like, Gary's not going to be in his apartment like seeking out Bluey or anything like that. But like, it's good. I will happily sit there and watch it with my child. It's a lot of fun, actually, and she loves it. I mean, she mostly just loves staring at a television screen. Like I could put anything on there and she'd be fine with it. But she's pretty tantalized by Bluey at the moment, which is great.
Bluey will do that. It's solid.
That's good. Yeah. Bluey is parenting. That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't have to. Gary, I mean, people said this to me for years, and I'm like, what are you talking about? But it's true. You just need a second where the child doesn't do anything. They're always moving, and they're always doing something, and they want to grab stuff and everything like that. So if you have like a literal tractor beam attached to your wall that could just suck her in for like 16 to 24 minutes at a time, you're going to take that anytime you can get it.
They can be anywhere in the house, and you hear da 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 da, and boom, they are on the couch and ready to go.
Yeah, that's K-pop Demon Hunters. No, that's the Demon Hunter right there. It's just Bluey.
We need to get the
bingo.
We need to get the K-pop group to Australia to take out Bandit and Chili.
Yeah. By the way, Mike writes, he says, Connor, Bluey is a dog. Your daughter loves dogs. You will own a dog.
I know. I heard you saying that yesterday. That's coming. That's 2 days in a row.
She loves dogs. She does. I don't think she really understands that Bluey is a dog yet, though. But she will.
Well, when she has
at some point, she'll figure it out.
When she has a real little puppy for Christmas, you'll understand.
Ooh. She's not going to get a puppy for Christmas.
What about Halloween? That can be weird.
Yeah.
Off the beaten path. Bring home some candy and a dog.
No, I'm not. I am not getting a dog. I'm not getting a dog unless like I'm explicitly begged for a long period of time.
It's coming.
But she can't even speak English yet, so. She can't ask.
What is work, Connor?
What language is she speaking?
She speaks baby. She's just short, like little, stuff like that.
She started yelling at me in Swedish the other day.
She understands words, but she can't talk. She can't speak.
My God, we have a kid that English is their second language.
Yeah, she speaks baby.
ESL in the Happer household.
Have a good show. We'll see you in a bit out at the ballpark, and I hope a lot of people stop by today for Senior Bingo.
Let's go. Yes. Speaking of bingo, Bluey. Bingo. Thank you. All right, that's Gary Sharp and Caleb Henry, and that is the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It is Wednesday. We have day baseball out here at Werner Park. First pitch is at 12:05. Come out and join us. We're just chilling. Joey's here. He's got his bucket hat on. He's ready to rock and roll. The show begins next.
He has the latest sports news, expert analysis, award-winning commentary, and a pocket full of cabbage.
Can you give us an indication why?
Just in case there's a sauerkraut emergency.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome in. It's Wednesday here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Today,
I get a break.
And he found a way to put his headset over his bucket hat,
Yes,
which I can speak from experience is indeed a challenge. So I'm glad that you figured that one out, and I like your rainbow sunglasses. I like your vibe today, Joey.
Yeah, having these on for like a long period of time will give me migraine. So let's cross our fingers because they just clamp right on my skull.
That's why I was a buds guy for a little bit back in the studio. I don't like. I always say this, and people are like, "What are you talking about?" But my ears get. I don't like it when my ears are sweaty. I don't like it when my ears can't breathe, even though my ears can't breathe anytime because they don't have any cardiovascular system. But like, I don't like it. I don't like when that happens. So I understand.
I've been saying I would get aviators again because I usually wear aviators. That's my style of sunglasses.
Charles says it looks like you're wearing a bonnet. Kind of does.
Yes,
Tiny
does.
baby Joey is here wearing a bonnet.
Baby's
at
my
Werner
second
Park,
language.
A place where Joey hasn't been in more than a decade.
Yeah, this is my second time watching a game.
So welcome to the beautiful, friendly confines here of Werner Park. We have day baseball this afternoon. It's Omaha and Louisville, the AAA affiliate of the Cincinnati Reds. I believe Dallas Keuchel is expected to pitch today. I'm looking down in the bullpen to see if I see a bearded man out there, but we'll find that out sooner rather than later. And yes, the weather is beautiful.
It's good.
We signed up for July 30th. When we got the word that it was going to be July 30th several weeks ago. And I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, no.
That sounds like a problem. It seems like it's going to be extremely hot. But it broke last night, had some storms roll through, and we're looking at the upper 70s and the 80s for the remainder of the week. So this will be a nice break. So come on out. Enjoy some day baseball today. Stop by and say hello to us. Or if not, we appreciate you listening anyway. Today on the show, Robin Washut will join us here in just about 10 minutes. We'll talk some football with him. Mitch Sherman, same thing at 11:30. That's a lineup powered by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'd like to hear from you all today. 402-951-1620. You can still call or text on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Once again, 402-951-1620. Tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. I'll see them all here. And email Connor at 1620thezone.com or Jay Colbert at nrgmedia.com if you'd like to get in touch with the show. Say maybe you want to send an email that is a surprise to me and that only Joey sees. Jay Colbert at nrgmedia.com is where to reach the Joey man.
Speaking of surprises, we got our NFL on CBS announcer lineup.
Whoa.
So
what do we got?
We got Jim Nantz, Tony Romo as the number one, but
shocking.
Ian Eagle is paired up with J.J. Watt this time. Charles Davis is moved
down.
J.J.
Watt.
Yeah, so he will be calling games with Ian Eagle.
J.J. Watt, he of doing the 9-9-9 challenge in like 4 innings last week. That was weird. Just after I went on my rant about people who do nobody wants you to watch you eat hot dogs and drink beers, and J.J. Watt did. Very interesting. I wonder if Josh Odson would have any comments on that. I think if he was here, he probably would. Yeah, looks like we got some Kevin Harlan. We got some Andrew Catalon. We got some Spiro Ditas. Mm-hmm. We got some Tom McCarthy. There you go, Joey. You're so NFL pilled.
Next day is preseason.
And
we're ready.
Tomorrow is a preseason game. What network will be broadcasting this? NFL Network?
I think NBC.
NBC
or ABC?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Get back to me on that one. I didn't even really think about that. Well, these days, I just flip on my YouTube TV NBC. And it tells me that it's there.
It's on NBC.
Okay. It's on NBC. So this is going to be a Tarico joint or?
Yeah, I would say Tarico and Collinsworth.
Tarico time tomorrow. So also welcome to the YouTube streamers today. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We are here. B-Ret says you're giving Handmaid's Tale. I don't understand that reference because I've never seen that show, but I get the sense that it took place in a different time.
Is it another Netflix show?
It's streaming somewhere. I don't know. I'm not a big TV honk, as people say. But my wife definitely watches that show. She's told me about it many times. I remember nothing about it though. So you can always feel free to comment in on the YouTube chat. And I know why you guys are here. I know you want to see me embarrassingly eat a corn dog again on the video stream. And the only way to see if I'm going to be able to eat a corn dog today is tune into the stream. That's it. I can tell you that there are corn dogs and there will be corn dogs available a mere 50 yards away from me right now. I'll just go right down there, say corn dog, please. And then I could eat it on air. Will I? I don't know.
Probably not.
Stay tuned to find out.
Never know.
Stay tuned to find out. You never know. All right. So that is the setup for today's show. It is Wednesday. I Have an Opinion is indeed here. And we have a little bit of an incentive for you all today in terms of I Have an Opinion. How about opinion of my choosing at relative random gets a 4-pack of general admission tickets to the Nebraska State Fair? How's that sound?
Yeah, that works.
Anybody going out to the fair? You want to go to the fair? On me? Just have an opinion and send it in any way you'd like to get in touch with the show. Elsewhere, there's a few baseball items I want to talk about. We mentioned Happy Gilmore 2 being the most streamed Netflix movie on opening weekend, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Elsewhere, yes, we have some Nebraska football topics. Nebraska, have they raised the ceiling enough for you to be able to depend on them to win the games that they are supposed to this year? Nebraska, looked this up last night, in their last 30 games, when they are favorites, they are outright, so not against the spread, just win or loss, 17-13. That's not that good, Joey.
Ooh, no,
that's
good.
That's not. You're gonna win. You're gonna want to win more games that you're favorites in. Do you trust Nebraska enough this season? If you're predicting that they're going to go 9-3 or 10-2, you probably do. Do you trust them enough to win the games that they are supposed to win? Because they're going to be a favorite quite a lot this year. Also, I have the introduction, or at least the concepts of a plan for a new game. And yes, it involves our old friend, the Wheel. We haven't got the Wheel out since Matt Rule was hired. But I have an idea of a utilization point for the Wheel for the next month before Nebraska starts playing football games. We're going to call it the Reasonable Expectations Wheel. More information on that coming up. Yeah, it's very catchy. I know. Thank you. So there's a bunch of Husker football topics that, of course, I want to get to today. Also, booze in Memorial Stadium. It's happening for the first time on Saturday. So get your opinions in at Happer Show, or whichever way you want to get in touch with that. We'll open things up for I Have an Opinion coming up at noon today. Once again, we're at Werner Park. Join us this afternoon for some day baseball. It is a very, very pleasant afternoon. It figures to be all day long. So come on out, say hello, say hi to Joe, tiny baby Joey in his bonnet today, which is very, very exciting. We're happy again that you're with us via all the listening platforms today. So without further ado, let's get this thing going. Robin Washut from Husker Online is going to join us on the other side. We'll talk some camp football questions with him. Maybe, just maybe, if the Nebraska ball fans ask nicely, I will ask Nebraska ball questions. People always want to talk, the Nebraska ball honks always want to talk about Nebraska ball. So maybe I'll ask Robin a Nebraska ball question. But you have to say, Connor, please, I have tears in my eyes. I'm going to request that you ask a question to Robin about Nebraska ball.
I'm so excited for basketball season. I got to know about my team.
I can't believe how excited you are for basketball season. We're less than 100 days away.
I know. It's amazing.
The countdown is on, folks. We're back after this with Robin Washut from HuskerOnline.com on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
the biggest basketball coaching convention of.
And work on your skill set while you listen.
What?
You don't want to embarrass. I'm talking.
What is going on? Robin, are you okay?
Robin Washington.
Are your kids near you, or what just happened?
Husker Online.
I took a lot of preparation to make this thing a flawless interview, and clearly I still can't avoid it.
Robin Washington. Husker Online.
Maybe it was aliens. Maybe it was a phenomenon that we can't explain.
The Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
That's right. Nobody ever knows what might happen when Robin Washington from Husker Online joins the show. Robin, good morning, my friend. How are you?
Doing well. How are you, Connor?
I am good. Is your life changed from having walked on the beautiful, beautiful grass outside of the Hawks Championship Center on Monday?
You know, I thought it was like really nice grass. I didn't quite have the same takeaways as maybe some of the other more established lawn guys out there, but I can confirm it was very nice grass. I'll leave it at that.
Did it make you want to be better at lawn care for your own home?
No, because I don't have near the patience nor the care to invest that much. Because like that's the gold standard of pristine lawns. It looked like just a putting green across the board there. So I've just accepted the fact that, you know, my lawn's good, nice. It's probably one of the better ones on my street, and that is the only barometer I care about.
You don't have the technology or the steady hands to pull off a procedure like that. I understand.
Correct.
It's the same thing for me as well, but we do our best out there. All right, Robin. So outside of the grass, I'm sure there was many observations and many takeaways from the brief viewing period on Monday. Everybody kind of gravitates toward, and this is good. This is a good thing, by the way. I know people, maybe we overdo it sometimes with the reactions to these open viewing windows, but like, I think it's okay to look at, all right, who looks different? What do the transfers look like? What do the freshmen look like? Do they look like their bodies are sort of ready to play at this moment? As far as that's concerned, just that piece of it, is there anybody that sort of stood out to you like, whoa, I'm not sure I expected this in terms of their physicality?
Yeah, I really like that 20-minute window. Like, it was really all about just eyeball test. Like you said, seeing guys in some cases for the first time and just seeing what they look like in a Nebraska uniform playing football at Nebraska. Like, there's value there. And then also just kind of the off-season summer games. You know, some guys make pretty big physical jumps over the course of a summer. And, you know, I thought there was several players that fit that bill. And maybe the most encouraging thing for me is the guys that stuck out the most, in my opinion, were on both sides of the line of scrimmage on the line. I thought the offensive line as a whole looked really athletic. You know, sometimes they're just big lumbering bodies. These guys were big and strong, but they were lean and they looked just quick. And it just kind of had a across the board different profile physically to that group than we've seen in a while. So, you know, that I thought was interesting and certainly encouraging that, you know, you're starting to see a little bit more athleticism up front on that offensive group. And on the other side of the ball, it's the same deal where, you know, some of the guys that jumped out the most were, you know, Keona Davis, Williams Nwaneri. I thought Elijah Judy looked as good as I've ever seen him as a Husker, just with the muscle that he's put on. Riley Van Poppel looked good. David Hufkin was probably the most monstrous frame that we'd seen. I mean, he's every bit of 6'7", 6'8", almost 285 pounds, and that guy is an impressive build, to say the least. But like beyond that, just like seeing guys and maybe just some of the initial, wow, that guy's put on some good muscle. That's kind of where I draw the line as far as takeaways go. You know, just because they don't even have pads on, they're running through really basic individual position drills. So like I try to temper like big, large scale takeaways from that type of viewing opportunity. But I do think that there is value just to see how players and position groups have transformed from the last time we saw them in the spring. And I thought that, you know, especially on both sides of the line, there were several guys that made some pretty notable improvements.
On HuskerOnline.com, you wrote, Robin, about the zoomed in on the defensive line a little bit. I think it's going to be the talk of camp, especially given what Rule has sort of said about the group and And the expectation is maybe that group would take a step back after what it lost last year. Rule doesn't seem to think that very much. We talk about the players and the things, the personnel that might be at their fingertips. We don't talk a lot about the coach. We don't talk a lot about Terry Braden, who joins the staff this year. He got a mention by Cam Lenhart yesterday. I wonder, we don't know Coach Braden very well yet, and we're getting refamiliarized with sort of the personnel that they're going to have on the defensive line as well. Just that picture when you think about it, siloed off from the rest of the team, just the defensive line with the personnel, with the coach. I guess what are your thoughts about the group, and what are your expectations for it this season, given that I feel like the expectations might be relatively tamped down coming off of the last couple of years?
Mm-hmm. I guess just from what we've seen so far, I guess most importantly, it seems that the players are really connecting with Terry Braden. I think that he's got a coaching style that guys gravitate towards. And, you talk to Cam Lenhart or really any of the other returning guys, they all rave about Braden just as a person and his ability to communicate in ways and coach in ways that hit home with these players. And that's the most important part. You can know everything that there is to know about the position, but if you can't deliver that message in an understandable way, it doesn't mean anything. And I think Terry Braden's been really efficient that way in terms of getting these guys all on the same page, connecting with them on a personal level, to really kind of hit the ground running with his transition here, because he was the latest arrival on the staff. So he had a lot of ground to make up when he got here, and arguably the biggest job outside of maybe Mike Eckler on the entire roster in terms of finding not just guys to replace Ty Robinson, but getting a laundry list of players that Nebraska needs to take significant jumps this year to get them ready to take that jump. So, we'll see. It's kind of to be determined as far as just how that process is going to unfold. But, I think that the one takeaway you can have is, I thought that one of the best things Terrence Knighton did was he got guys to buy into him, and he had a really close personal relationship with his players, and really was able to connect with those guys beyond the football field. And so far, while it's still early, it seems like Terry Braden has that same type of kind of personality to him to be able to reach these guys on a different level and maybe hammer home those messages a little bit better than some others might.
One guy on that defensive line, Keona Davis, we got a glimpse last year, but he didn't need to give Nebraska a lot because of the aforementioned kind of what they had. He steps into a little bit more of a featured role this year, a little bit, quite a bit more is expected of him. Is there enough to go off of from last year to where you project or we should project Keona Davis to be, is he a star in the defense? Is he just a guy in the defense? Is it a wait and see? I guess, what does the picture look like for him in your mind going into this year?
Well, the initial picture is he looks every bit the part of a all-conference defensive lineman. I mean, he's as impressive of a player as there might be on the roster, just with his size, strength, speed. I mean, he's got everything that you'd want in that regard. But now the big hurdle for him is to go from a guy with a ton of potential to, realizing it come the season. So there's a lot. He's probably right at the top of the list of, I talked about guys on the defensive line that need to make that jump. Keona Davis is, right there with anybody on that list. And if he does, every coach that has worked with him, every teammate that's played alongside him says all the same thing, that this guy's, ceiling is, as high as anybody's. And if he can come anywhere close to reaching that potential, he could be a downright star. So the table is set for him to be that kind of player. Now it's just a matter of him playing up to that potential and the coaching staff and his teammates getting him to believe in himself to play up to that potential. And again, if the stars align and he gets to that point, Nebraska could have a full-blown star in their hands.
Yeah, I can't wait to find out what that picture looks like early in the season and throughout camp. Robin, as always, appreciate the time. Good to talk as always, and we'll do it again next week.
Sounds good. Talk to you later. Robin
Washington from HuskerOnline.com. You could check out his breakdown on the defensive line which is really taken over, I think, in my mind, as one of the topics of the week. The open practice is coming up on Saturday, and we'll talk about the things that won't be happening on the practice field a little bit later on. But I think people will get a close look at that and see exactly what that looks like. It's not so. I assume they'll be scrimmaging at least for some period of time. It's a not so important scrimmage in the grand scheme of things. You usually wait till that third or so week during camp for those big takeaways to happen and really suss out your depth chart from there. But man, there's a lot of what ifs on the defensive line. That doesn't mean it has to be bad. I think people have now, based on what Rule has said this week, there's all of a sudden some expectations for that group and some guys that you're expecting to really jump out right away to start the season. All right, 11 o'clock hour is coming up next. Mitch Sherman will join us at the bottom of the hour. The odd news will be coming up in the hour as well. Got some Husker topics for you to pass along. We're live at the ballpark. Gates are going to be opening here in just a couple minutes. First pitch is at 12:05 between Omaha and Louisville. Stop by on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. We continue from right on top of section 114. Coming back on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. right, an hour down on the Connor Happer Show. 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Gates are open here at Werner Park, and the fine folks have come flooding in. Senior bingo today at the park. Joey, you could pass for, you get in on there.
Yeah, I'm a grumpy old man.
Uncle Baby Joey. Get him in there and get him in some senior. Honestly, if you wanted to go play bingo, I wouldn't mind. You could just go off and do whatever it is. But you're providing an important service to me during this period of time.
Your emotional support.
Emotional support, security guard, guy to just sit here and look good so the YouTube stream doesn't get taken off the internet because I ate a corn dog or something like that. So, yeah, it's good. We're out here at Werner Park about an hour away from first pitch. Don't forget, coming up at noon, I Have an Opinion. Get your opinions in,
Please
and
do.
you'll have a chance to win a 4-pack of GA tickets to the Nebraska State Fair.
Yes.
Later on in the show, we'll check in on Facebook comments of the Nebraska athletic department announcing that there's going to be beer at the stadium.
Yes.
During the open practice
game
on Saturday. Joey, we're going to check out the Facebook comments and see what they're up to during the show today. I also want to remind you before we move on here, before we get to our topic, that this week's Zone Deal is to Copal Mexican Cuisine, 129th and Maple, Omaha's best kept secret, with one of Omaha's best patios. Sunday fun day, all day happy hour on Sundays. $5 house margaritas on Monday. Tuesday, 3 tacos, rice, beans, chips, salsa for only $11. In this deal, you'll get 2 $25 vouchers, which is a $50 value, of course, for just $25. Gary and Matt have gift certificates all week that you could win for $0, or the Zone Deal goes on sale Friday at 9, 1620thezone.com. So, brought this up a little bit at the start of the show just to set the vibe for it. Nebraska football is going to be, in my mind, and maybe people would disagree with this, but I will see. They're going to be favored in a lot of games this year, and they usually are. It hasn't stopped them from losing them. So if you go up and down the schedule right now and you kind of map it out a little bit, they're going to be favorites against Cincinnati.
Yep.
They're going to be favorites against Akron. They're going to be favorites against Houston Christian. They're probably not going to be favorites against Michigan, but we'll see. It's a home game. It's going to be very close in my mind against Michigan State. That probably feels like a 3.5. But
I think that's homecoming.
I do feel like Nebraska will probably be a favorite in that game. They'll probably be favorites at Maryland. They might not or might be favorites at Minnesota. They'll be favorites at home against Northwestern. We'll see about USC. We'll see about UCLA. Not against Penn State. Probably against Iowa because that's the way it goes. I mean, that's half of their schedule right there.
Yeah.
That they're almost for sure going to be favorites in, and then there's probably 4 or 5 more games where you could see them reasonably being favorites. Just probably not at Penn State. But we have said this many, many times before. Going into the season, they're going to be favorites in a lot of games, and guess what happens at the end of the season? They don't win as many games as you think, as the odds makers say they're going to. So I looked this up last night. Nebraska over the last 30 games, when they are favorites, they're just favored by any amount of points. It could be a half, it could be 1, it could be 30. They are 17-13 outright, straight up, in their last 30 games when they are the favorites. That does not include the spread. That does not, they are, if they're 4.5-point favorites and they win the game, period, they don't have to cover. That's what counts in this scenario. If they lose the game, obviously it counts toward a loss. 17-13 in your last 30 games as favorites. And that is, once again, outright. So, my question to you all is this, and you can text us at 402-951-1620 or a variety of different places throughout the show today. In your mind, has Nebraska raised the ceiling enough to win basically all the games that they're supposed to? Because what I'm gathering from people in their preseason predictions for Nebraska football is that well, and this is normally what happens every year as well. Joey, you could attest to this.
Mm-hmm.
We have an idea of what we think a total of what Nebraska is going to win in the offseason. Maybe some years it's 7, maybe some years it's 8. I think right now it's probably or before, the fall camp started as we headed to August. It's probably vacillating between those two numbers, right?
Yeah,
a lot of people picking 7, a lot of people picking 8. But it happens every year. And remember, I was gone last August for most of it. I had a child on August 1st last year, and I came back about the 20th, somewhere in that range. And when I came back, just as I predicted, everyone thought they were 1 win better than what they thought at the beginning of when I left. This happens every year. Fall camp opens. You start hearing the coaches talk about a variety of different things. They're selling you their idea on why Nebraska is going to be good this year. And you can't help yourself. You drink the Kool-Aid a little bit. I'm not saying you shouldn't. Go ahead and drink the Kool-Aid. You fire away and drink all the Kool-Aid you want. That's fine by me. But it happens every single year without fail. It goes up by 1 win, maybe more, as we get closer and closer to the season. So if we follow that logic and we use the parameters that I just laid out, if you think they're going to win 8 now, you probably think they're going to win 9 on August 26th. If you think they're going to win 7 now, you probably think they're going to win 8 on August 28th, 6th, whatever, a day before the season starts, or the day the season starts before the first game. And then the first game happens and everything gets thrown out the window, and all of our 10 months of offseason conversations just go completely down the drain, but that's a different thing.
Well, the thing is, the first game is a big game against a big conference opponent, so that's really the time where kind of draw a line right there.
Well, I mean, completely. Like that's when the season starts, the game completely changes.
Yeah.
But the offseason is the offseason, and it sort of lives in its own world a little bit. And like I said, it goes up. So if we use that data off of years and years of data acquisition in this category, I feel confident about the way that it's going to go. If you're at 8 right now, you might convince yourself that Nebraska is going to win 9 or 10 games by the time the season starts. And once again, I have no problem with that. I think that's within Nebraska's grasp. But here's where I want to warn you. If you do go up that win and you think that Nebraska by the start of the season is going to be a team that wins 9 or 10 games, you are telling me that they are going to win basically all of the games that they are favored in. All of them. Nebraska that's where we go back to the original stat. 17-13 in their last 30 in games in which they are favorites. You're telling me that so my question to you is, have they raised the floor? I'm going to put my sunglasses back on, by the way. Got sunny again. Have they raised the floor enough to where they are past losing to teams that are worse than them? In my opinion, I mean, it's hard for me to say that at this point. So I have to factor that in to a win total of what I think they're going to do this year. That's why I've been closer to a 7-win guy this offseason. Yeah. But no doubt about it, I'll drink the Kool-Aid and I'll hear some things and I'll hear some good things and camp on camp, and like really it's hard for camp to go wrong unless there's some detrimental injuries or something like that. And probably at the end of it, you could very easily convince me that they're going to win 8. You could very easily convince me that they're going to win 9. But the more and more you push that win total up, the less your margin for error gets. And like I just said, I feel like they're going to be favorites in these games. And some of you use that as data for why they're going to win, but it hasn't been the most accurate data point lately, right? Mm-hmm. Just because they're going to be favored in these games does not mean they're going to win.
You got to do the small things right to make it happen.
You do. And I mean, that's a really, really important piece to what they're going to do this year. I believe that Matt Rule has raised the floor of this program. And I think people kind of scoff at that and they say, well, what does that mean? It's an important step it's an important step to go to the next step, because the step after raising the floor is obviously raising the ceiling, or at least seeing if you can achieve a ceiling of where you're going. And that is a question that we certainly don't have the answer to at this point. But in order to get there, you have to answer the big one first. Have they, in my mind, this is the thing that holds Nebraska back as a program, not necessarily from an internal standpoint. I'm just talking about from like a perception standpoint. And the Peter man is here as well, stopping
Peter.
by. Look at that. You running the video board today? Some replay, doing a little bit of directing too. Probably our guy Alex up there is probably taking off for the day at some point. Good job. All right, Peter man is here.
Peter is important.
There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Say hi. Say hi, Peter. All right. So with that being said, it's been a very detrimental piece to what Nebraska has not done over the last several years, where they just haven't been able to consistently win games that they're supposed to win. And I can't tell you with any sort of confidence that they have reached the point where I can just say, yep, that part of this is over. I just can't.
Yeah,
I can't tell you that. So I want people to keep that in mind when they talk about Nebraska winning 9 and 10 games. It's not hard in the sense that it's hard to imagine. It's hard to actually physically do. There's 12 games in a season, and there's going to be ups and downs and stuff like that. And I just don't know that the margin for error that Nebraska has inevitably, created for itself, like in the process of raising this floor a little bit, you're trying to create margin for error against teams that are right in your ballpark. Is the quarterback, is the offensive coordinator, is the defense enough to raise that margin for error enough to where they feel more comfortable against these teams? You don't have to beat them by 20. You don't have to beat them by 20. But we're talking about Minnesota. We're talking about Michigan State. We're talking about Maryland. We're talking about Northwestern. When we do the Chunkies in a couple weeks here, by the way, get ready. The Chunkies are coming. So top first 4 games are Cincinnati, Akron, Houston, Christian, Michigan. All right. When we do the Chunkies, I'm just going to give you guys a little sneak preview on this. Oh, Gary is here now too. He's on. Yeah, you're on camera. Don't worry.
You're on camera.
You were on camera. When the Chunkies get here, the biggest chunk that Nebraska has this year, the most important chunk, I feel like I shouldn't be telling you. It's ruining my own award show. But I think everybody would agree with this. Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota, and Northwestern. That chunk right there in the middle of the season, smack dab in the middle, before you get to USC, UCLA, Penn State, and Iowa. That's obviously huge. That is the raise the ceiling chunk. This is the raise the floor chunk.
Got a lot of winnable games on there, and then Maryland game.
You're going to be favorites in all of them, probably, with the possible exception of the Minnesota game.
Yeah, and that Maryland game. After that, you got a short turnaround with the Minnesota game being a late night Friday game. So you're going to be traveling back to Nebraska, and then you got to travel right back to Minneapolis in a couple days. That could be a sneaker right there.
No doubt about it. So, maybe if you're predicting them to go 10-2, you're probably saying that they're going to go either undefeated or 3-1 during that stretch. If you play off of what it's been around here recently, chances are they end up 2-2 or less in that 4-game stretch. Once again, starting Saturday, October 4th, Michigan State at home, going all the way through Maryland, Minnesota, back-to-back games on the road, as Joey mentioned, long travel, short turnaround, all that stuff, and then ending with the Northwestern game at home on October 25th. Man, I mean, you just are going to have not much margin for error in those games. And if you think Nebraska is going to do something special this year, they're going to have to win them all.
They're going to have to do a lot of things. And right now, I just want to see progress. Try to win a couple more games in that regular season, finish at least 8-4 before a bowl game appearance, and obviously finish strong. You get the extra practices, and then you go on to the next season.
Oh, so you're going low. You're tamping down.
You don't want to have too much expectations for the Cornhuskers. You want to win a couple more games at a time before you are a powerhouse again. That's just my approach with this program, especially since pretty much how the last decade's been. For
no doubt.
football team.
I think it's fair to be skeptical. That's for sure. Let's go to a couple texts from what you guys think here. 402-951-1620. Let's see. I haven't drank the Kool-Aid since 2018, and Rule running his mouth isn't going to get me to do it this year. Are you sure? Are you sure? No, if John says he hasn't drank the Kool-Aid since 2018, then he's probably kicked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's still on that wagon. He hasn't fallen off yet and accidentally, gone out with some friends and had a couple sips of the Kool-Aid. So I trust him on that one. From the 402, the lack of depth that Nebraska has in some positions may make it impossible to get to 9, 10, or 11 wins because injuries will happen. Until they prove that on the field, we have to assume this is a 6, 7, 8 win team. That's where I sit. But, I mean, keep in mind, Texter, there's a big difference between 6 and 8. That's for sure. So there's even probably a tier inside of that tier that's like, all right, are you able to get over the hump in these close games? I mentioned this yesterday, but it's something that's now been on my mind because I just stumbled onto it. The in-game coaching stuff has been brought up a lot during the season over the last couple of years. And then it's one of those things that in the offseason we just kind of forget about, right? It's like the situational things. Now that the gap has, as far as the roster talent, has theoretically shrunk, there will be some games where it won't matter as much, but the important ones, it feels like it'll matter more. So maybe you feel like Nebraska is in that place where they've done enough to improve the roster, to where they'll have enough to get by in that middle chunk, right? The Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota, and Northwestern chunk. And then where the coaching will come in is at the back end of it with USC, UCLA, Penn State, and Iowa. That maybe it'll matter more in that category. So that's something to think about, sort of as well. I got a text here from Blake. Blake thinks they have. Blake thinks they have closed that gap enough. They have raised that floor enough to where he feels comfortable saying, it's time. Now it's time to go. Once again, you would have no issue convincing me. Really, you would have no issue convincing me if you're like, look, here's the deal. They're better here. They're better here. They got a better offensive coordinator. They got a quarterback. They got this and this and this. I like the pieces that they put together on defense. I like how it fits. All that stuff. Here's why they're going to win 9. Here's why they're going to win 10. I listen to you, and I'll probably agree with you by the end of that conversation. But yeah, I've often told people, if you guys have been listening to me for a couple of years on this station, I've told you, I think prior to the last 2 years, to untether yourselves, right? Untether yourselves, meaning don't be attached to the horrible, as Josh Peterson and Jack Mitchell would say, the groin kick era, right? Don't be pre-programmed to think that something horrible is going to happen. And to my credit, mostly we were talking about that last year as it pertained to the Colorado game.
Yeah.
It's like, I just can't do this. I think they're going to lose. I know that they're better, but I think they're going to lose because this is what they always do in situations like that. I'm like, man, give me a break. All right. What are you going to do? Are you going to be physically hurt?
Stick with them.
Right. But this is in my mind more than a one game thing. This is a really big picture program thing. And I don't know. I can't tell you for sure that they're over that hump. We'll get a hint in the Cincinnati game. We'll get a taste of it. If Nebraska takes control of that game and steps on the throat of Cincinnati, that'd be a big step for them, I think. And then we'll have to wait until the Michigan game to find out the remainder of the answer to that question.
And how much of a benefit that Cincinnati game, instead of it being in Indianapolis, it's right down I-29 in Kansas City.
It's a huge deal. It's a
huge deal.
From the 402, removing Satterfield as the offensive coordinator is worth one win. Dana making more in-game decisions at the end may help. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Nebraska's offense should be at the very least solid this year to good, potentially, depending on how much you believe it all comes together and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, you could absolutely say that's worth a win, and then you start doing the math. Like, I think they'll win this game, and then all of a sudden you're at 9. You're like, whoa, what happened? I'm actually predicting this. I'm predicting them to win 9 games. So it's something to think about throughout this next month when the Kool-Aid will 100% be flowing. And you'll at the end of the month on August 27th, the day before the first game or the day of the first game, you'll be wondering, how did I get here? Did somebody drug me throughout the last month? The answer is yes. It's called Kool-Aid, and it happens to the best of us. But we'll be listening to the Kool-Aid drinkers over the next month or so. All right, we are out here at Werner Park. Connor Happer and Joey Colbert with you. We're about 40 minutes away here from first pitch, so we'll have a baseball game going on. Dallas Keuchel will be pitching today for the Omaha Storm Chasers. So they are playing Louisville. It's been a tough season so far for Omaha, but fun at the ballpark. Come on out, say hello to us. You can make a cameo on camera. Also, will I eat a corn dog? All things that we'll find out in the next 2.5 hours or so. I have an opinion coming up at noon. Get your opinions in for that. But when we return, Mitch Sherman from The Athletic will join us on the other side. We'll ask him about some of these questions that we were just wondering out loud about, and plenty more Husker football related when we return. It's the Connor Happer Show live from Werner Park on 1620 The Zone.
Who do you want to talk about first?
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic.
He can play. And we need people that can play.
And we'll never be royal. Let me live that fantasy.
Boom, boom. Mitch Sherman, The Athletic, on the Connor Happer Show, on 1620 The Zone.
He can play.
All right, welcome back to the ballpark, everybody. Connor Happer, Joey Colbert with you. Omaha and Louisville coming up here at the top of the hour. We're now joined on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Mitch, good late morning to you. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well. You picked a good day to be out at Werner Park. A lot better than recent mornings, huh?
We have been thankful for that, because usually we do these shows on Tuesdays because the Tuesdays are the day games, and it just so happens that this one was a Wednesday. And would you look at that? The weather breaks overnight, and it's like 77 degrees. It's a little sticky still, but I have no problem with the temperature at all.
You're not cold? Good.
No, I did wear like a kind of like a jacket thing, but it doesn't have long sleeves. No, we're very, very comfortable out here at Werner Park, getting ready for a Dallas Keuchel start. I bet, Mitch, that Dallas Keuchel will make a start for the Kansas City Royals at some point this year.
I thought that they had already inserted him into their rotation with everything else that was going on. I mean, seriously, like when you said that Dallas Keuchel was starting, I'm like, how come he's not on a plane to wherever, or a bus to Kansas City?
Well, they used the Rich Hill. Probably a car. They used the Rich Hill card already, and I don't think he'll probably come back here. And
why not?
So maybe this was insurance for the if the Seth Lugo trade was going to happen, which didn't happen, and I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, we're glad to have Lugo for 2 more years for sure. That's great. I liked what happened last night, and maybe we get to August and they're within striking distance, Connor. That's all that matters.
Hey, it pays to be in the American League where there's like 3 good teams and then the rest of them are basically 500. So you never know what's going to happen in the last 2 months of the season. All right, let's talk some football. You never know what's going to happen over the next month as we get ready for the football season to start. But as we were just talking about it, Mitch, feels like throughout this month when camp is going on, people will convince themselves that Nebraska is going to win one more game than whatever they thought at the beginning of camp. That's how it always works for me. I wonder what would the Kool-Aid drinkers really enjoy hearing about over the next month as camp wages on.
The best thing they could hear. The best thing that they could hear, I mean, you can just go anywhere, but the best thing that they could hear, I think, is that Nebraska doesn't have any kind of issues at running back. That pick your guy, Mosey, Ives, Mekhi Nelson. One of those guys has stepped up, and they're going to form a 1-2 punch with Emmett Johnson, and that's the end of that. So you don't have to worry about the running back depth anymore, or maybe not the depth, but like the ability at the top of the depth chart. And Nebraska is going to have a more than competent run game because player X, Y, or Z has answered the call.
Oh, that is a good one. Okay, so does that double as like your biggest concern right now, or the thing that you're at least most curious about as we go into camp here?
It's there. It might be at the top, or I might look at the D line. I might look at the D line and say, like, are these guys really ready for the Big Ten? Like, Riley Van Poppel, yeah, I can buy that. Like, I think he's going to be a really good player when it's all said and done. Like Elijah Judy, he's kind of been a spot player. Been able to play effectively in limited time. Is he really going to be able to go out there and play 40 snaps? Cam Lenhart, like, is he going to make that jump that we thought he might make as a sophomore? Is he going to do that now as a junior? And then what about all these unproven pieces? Like, to think that, like, the answer is going to be on the sunny side with each one of those questions. And that's what it would take for Nebraska to field what you would want to see on the D line. So I think that's probably my biggest concern going into camp, is that they're going to be a little light up front on defense. And like there are some places on this team where they can withstand an injury. Like, injuries are inevitable in late July and August. And there are some places on this team where they can withstand that. The defensive line, like among the top two, the two deep, that's not a place where it would go over all right.
Yeah, I feel like if we consistently hear that a guy like Keona Davis, or, I mean, hell, even like Williams Nwaneri is like, he's really coming on during fall camp, that might change the picture a little bit. Right now, I mean, I think I believe Rule when he says that he feels the defensive line is going to be better than people expect, or at least that's what I took from his comments last week. Like, I believe him, but you also kind of want to see it first. So you almost want to hear it, like, individually, that these guys, well, yeah, they're there and they're going to be there when the season goes on.
I will say that 2 years ago, we were in a similar spot in thinking about the D line like this, like Tony White's first go around, and Terrence Knighton was in charge of that group. And there was just kind of some, what's Nebraska going to have at D line? I think if you'd have asked about the weakest position group on the team, it would have been in the conversation, or the position group with the most questions. And then they were the biggest overachievers or achievers. Yep. They like lived up to their potential as well or better than any group on the team. So what you're hoping is that you have a repeat from 2 years ago, and that, like, Terry Braden can bring that out of them. And, and some of that, I think some of the reason, like, that maybe a Matt Rule coach team would tend to do that is just because of his proficiency and attention to the D line. Like, it's a place where he can focus some energy, and it's not like, oh, all of a sudden Matt Rule comes over to work with the group in practice and, like, he teaches them how to play D line. I don't think that's what it is. Like, he does not have, like, the magic wand, but I think that the way that he oversees things on defense in general tends to lend itself to good defensive line play, or play on the defensive line that might, like, outperform what we expect going into the year. And some of that this season might look like, and I believe that Phil Snow is, like, right out of that same mold. In fact, Rule may have gotten it from Phil Snow. So I think like, they're going to position their defense. They're going to do things around the defensive linemen to make life better for them. So that if they have to cover something up that involves that front group, like, they know how to do it. And, that has to be the hope going in.
It's a topic that has now been a thing. I mean, as long as he's been here during fall camp. I get the sense people love, and I'm sure you do as well, people love talking about Heinrich Harburg. We love talking about the possibilities of what Heinrich Harburg could bring to the table. Where are you at on the Heinrich Harburg train, so to speak, right now? And how might that evolve throughout the next month?
You wish that he had another year. You wish that Heinrich, like, had 2 full years to play tight end. And you think about what that might have looked like at the end of his time at Nebraska. But, this is going to be it. And I don't think he's going to be a finished product at the end of the season. Now and who really is? Like, but if he's going to be less of a finished product, like, coming out of college than most players, because he only spent 1 year fully devoted to playing the tight end spot. And there's a lot of nuance there and a lot you have to learn. But I think it's going to be good. Like, I think he's going to give Nebraska some stuff at that position that it hasn't had recently. I think, like, people hear Matt Rule say, like, oh, he's one of the best athletes that Rule has ever coached, and you wonder, is that hyperbole? I mean, think about, like, Christian McCaffrey and Brian Burns and just various players in the NFL. And there's guys at Baylor too who they're hell. There's guys at Temple, Hassan Reddick. He's coached some pretty good athletes. So this Heinrich, is he bordering on that category of athlete? I guess. Watch him run and jump, and he can do all kinds of stuff that is maybe unexpected. And it's always been that way since he's been at Nebraska. It was that way when he was playing the quarterback spot. I think he's going to give them. I think he's going to give them a boost. I don't think he's going to be the every down tight end, but I think he's going to give them some stuff at that position where he's going to produce some wow moments.
So okay. That was kind of my next question. Do you think of him more as like a tight end in the traditional sense of a tight end, or is he sort of like gadget H-back, line him up in different places, that type of thing?
I think they'll give him opportunities to go out there and play in a traditional tight end role. Yeah, but I think where he's gonna flash and where you're gonna notice him the most is when they ask him to make a big play, and that's kind of what, and that's where his game. I do think he can play in the NFL, and that's where, and I think he will, and that's where his game is going to grow when he gets to the next level and has this base of knowledge and understanding that he gets from these last 12 months at Nebraska, and he can take that and then become a more well-rounded player. Like he's going to have a lot of room and time to become a well-rounded player at the next level. Like I don't know that we're going to see that this year, but I do think Nebraska is going to give him chances because there's just he needs to be. You can't just put him on the field when you expect to put him into a gadget like, oh, he might throw the ball or they're going to run him on a reverse or whatever. Look out for this guy on this route that they've put on film. Like you have to put him out there in regular situations too. Like when they run the ball, there's Heinrich, blocking on the edge, and he's capable.
Yeah, I think so too. Punter talk now. So, now we're getting into the good stuff. How much of a weapon can Archie Wilson actually be for them in the context of? I always mention this too, and Rule talked about it, or at least mentioned it to the side when he talked about Archie Wilson the other day. He's like, we like to fake. And that's important context to his role as an obvious punter. Like, you got to be able to do the traditional punter things, but it does feel like it gives them a little bit more leeway and leverage to do some different things in the punt game as well. How much of a weapon could he be?
Do you think that Nebraska packaged up some video clips of Rule saying that Archie Wilson can run and throw, and that Nebraska likes to fake? Do you think they made a little montage of that and sent it to Cincinnati and Michigan, or they just allowed them to find it organically on the internet?
He's not shy about saying like, "Hey, look, I like to fake punt."
He wants them to know. He wants them to think about it. He wants them to be just a step slow in their punt block team for sure. And an Aussie punter, a rugby style punter, just gives you that naturally because he's rolling out. Like, you are automatically worried before you even know what kind of other skills he might have, because it looks like he's faking on every punt. So he's running toward the line of scrimmage, sideways, whatever, and then boom, he kicks the ball. He kicks the banana ball. But some of that's gamesmanship, I think. I certainly didn't see Archie throwing or running. Oh, running a little bit, some run and kick. He looks like a good athlete. He's a good sized guy, like 6'3", I think, 215, 220. He's he kind of looks like Dylan Raiola. So he's just like Dylan Raiola.
He's we'll take that as the pull quote for this segment. Thank you. He's just like Dylan Raiola.
Yeah, it's like having Dylan Raiola as your punter. You can't do. I think they'll do it. Like they're gonna. It's part of the. That's part of the package. That's part of the fun. Like that's part of the advantage of having this style, is that you're gonna have defenses second guessing themselves and having to prepare for stuff that you may or may not use, and Nebraska wants to take full advantage of that.
I'll tell you what. Like if it gets him, by the fact that he is punting it in with a different spin on it, or he's bananaing it or whatever it is. Like if that gets him 1 or 2 extra possessions this year, it's worth it. Like if a guy muffs a punt because the wind is swirling around like it does at Memorial Stadium and this guy's, lobbing up banana balls and the guy muffs it. I mean, it's worth it. So it just feels like it gives him a little bit more of a possibility that something like that could happen in the punt game.
You would think that that's realistic to expect that like one or two more possessions. Like that's easy. I think that they'll do. What you have to do is you have to minimize the disasters, like the mistakes. You have to eliminate those. The first thing you got to do with your special teams and with your punt group is like you have to be. You can't have any of those if you're Nebraska. Like you got to lock down the returns. You can't have punts blocked. Like. Oh, I just flashed back to last year with the blocked kicks that Nebraska allowed, and so that's got to be gone. That's got to be not part of it. And then once you master that and you feel like that's under control, you can start working on trying to mess up your opponent. And there's certainly some things in Archie Wilson's repertoire that you would seemingly be able to mess up another team's kicking game.
That's fascinating. That's for sure. Mitch, thanks as always. Appreciate you stopping by, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. Check his work out there. He's got 5 things to know about Nebraska as the Huskers open fall camp right now on The Athletic, and plenty more camp coverage coming, including a whole bunch, I'm sure, off of Saturday night at Memorial Stadium. Maybe he'll have a beverage. Probably not. He's working media, but it'll be available. Just saying.
There.
Once again, we're going to look at the Facebook comments a little bit later. Don't forget to get in your opinions coming up at just a couple minutes after noon today, because we'll take odd news a little bit later because we have the national anthem and we don't want to be on the air for the national anthem. It's a rule of broadcasting. Either don't be on the air for the national anthem or like take the national anthem. And we don't have the audio video set up here to be able to take the national anthem. But so anyway, I have an opinion that's coming up in just a little bit. Get those opinions in. And the incentive, of course, is free general admission tickets to the Nebraska State Fair for the opinion of my choosing coming up later on in the show. And I'll pick that later on in the afternoon. Connor Happer, Joey Colbert with you here from Werner Park. Joey is all ready to rock and roll with the odd news, folks. He's got his hard copies. He's taking a page out of Josh Odson's book.
I'm an old man, but just in case the technology did not work.
God,
it works. So I got the technology.
I love how prepared you are. Also, we get a text regarding Joey. Is Joey auditioning for a role in The Handmaid's Tale? That's 2 Handmaid's Tale mentions on this show, which is extremely awesome.
I got some talent.
Put him in the show, ladies and gentlemen. All right, back after this with the odd news on 1620 The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
It's time for the odd news, but not with Odd Son. With just a different Odd Son. It's Joey.
Just the old man.
Yeah, with the old bonnet on from Handmaid's Tale.
Oh man,
Joey, I am excited to see what you have in store for us today.
Well, Connor, do you believe in aliens?
Do I believe in aliens? What an interesting question. Do I believe that there's something else out there? Sure.
It's
yes.
possible.
Sure. Yeah, it I would say even probable.
Well, anyway, there's a mysterious ring camera footage sparking alien speculation. This goes down to California as a woman's doorbell camera captured a video of a mysterious figure that has some residents speculating about alien activity. So Jessica Ortiz is the homeowner, but she shared the footage to social media showing what her ring camera picked up outside of her Compton home after dark. The video appears to show an unusually shaped figure walking next to the house. And she wrote on social media, anyone, please explain to me what my ring just caught. I'm not tripping, right?
I'm not tripping, right?
She said her son was equally perplexed by the footage. He sat up on his bed and he played it like 3 times. She told NBC Los Angeles when he was done on the 3rd one, he was like, Mom, it's an alien. Call the police.
It's an alien.
I was like, I'm not calling the police on an alien. I sound crazy.
That's actually true. Yeah.
Yep. So some commenters said the figure resembles an alien or another mysterious creature, while others speculated it could have been a person wearing a hat or a black-clad figure carrying a light-colored bag that showed up on camera as a silhouette of an extraterrestrial.
Yeah, it just depends on your disposition on things. Like if you want to see an alien, if you want to believe that it's an alien, the first reaction that you have is going to be, oh, I think that was an alien. But if you are more predispositioned to maybe be skeptical of the fact that there's an alien in your front yard or at your doorstep, you'd probably say, that's just a guy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It probably most likely is a guy or a woman.
Probably a human or
almost for sure. Some sort of different animal or something like that. But so I'm going to doubt that this is our first alien sighting on planet Earth, but you never know. You never know.
Never know.
So with those ring door, I will say the odds that the first ever confirmed alien sighting on American soil or on planet Earth, and that footage comes from a ring camera.
Yep.
Very high. The chances that it comes from a ring camera are extremely good.
You're more than likely going to see it through your doorbell camera.
Shout out to Ring or any of the other doorbell companies that are out there.
All right, Connor. Well, have you seen those Google Maps streetcar views driving around?
I'm on one.
You are one.
I'm on one.
You are on one.
So if you go to, I've said this before, if you go to Boulder, Colorado, and you go to Mount Chautauqua,
okay,
where there's a little hiking trail there where everybody uses it. Now they might have updated it by now, but I'm crossing the street to get back to the parking lot from Mount Chautauqua, and I saw the Google car come by, and I waved. I look like an alien because they blur out your face, and everything. They blur out all the license plates and stuff like that. But it's quite funny. So what's going on with the Google cars?
Yes. So this goes down to Argentina as an Argentinian captured naked in his yard by a Google Street View camera.
It's classic.
And he's been awarded $12.5 thousand after a lawsuit where his bare behind was flashed over the internet for all to see.
That's not what you want.
So this guy's a policeman, and he sought payment from the internet giant for harm to his dignity, arguing he was behind a 6 1/2 foot wall when a Google camera captured him in the buff from behind in a small town, Argentina, in 2017.
There's a couple ways to prevent this. Number one, so it was 2017, and they're just now finding out about it.
I guess
they're
so.
just now connecting him to it now. That's interesting. There's a couple ways to avoid this. Number one, don't be naked outside.
Put some clothes on.
Put some clothes on. Number two, if you do happen to be naked outside, which you shouldn't be naked outside, and you see anyone coming, any sort of moving object, whether it be an animal or a trash truck or a delivery driver or just any sort of car, but much less the Google car with the big camera on the top, go inside.
Yeah.
Immediately go inside, because that Google car will see everything.
Yeah, and his house number, street name was laid there so people know where it's at, and there was broadcasts on Argentinian TV covering the story, shared widely on social media. So the man claimed the invasion exposed him to ridicule at work and among his neighbors.
Yeah. It would, if I knew that guy, he would definitely be exposed to ridicule, because I would ridicule him pretty much nonstop. So once again, a lot of different things he could have done to avoid the situation.
Yeah, exactly.
But suing Google, probably not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, he got some money out of it, but
he did. Okay, they paid him off
$12,500.
Not bad,
but
not bad.
You could report issues on Google Street Cam. Just report a problem. I was able to add Mount Happer into the parking lot.
You were.
It's that easy.
CJ, by the way, writes in on YouTube. He says the Google car got me on my mower. That's awesome. You want to see if you're going through and looking at houses, like you want to see the people who own the house in their element. So they got
see
CJ.
what they look like.
Yeah. All right. One more story.
All right. We got a truck spill.
Truck spill of the week. I was worried that truck spill of the week was going to die without Josh here, so thank you.
It's over in Washington. You want to guess what it is?
Well, it's in Washington. Do I get any other context clues?
I don't know if this is it's a fruit, I would say, I think. Something small. Something you would put like on a cake or
a cake.
Fruit
on a cake.
Or in a root beer, I think.
Peaches.
No.
In a root beer.
I don't
Now
know.
you lost me. Cherries.
Yeah, cherries.
Cherries.
There you go.
You know what? I was going to say the first blank guess I was going to have was wine. So, I mean, I wasn't like that far. I like cherries, grapes, same deal. Like, I don't know. There's cherry wine.
So Washington Road was a sticky sweet mess on Monday when the semi-truck overturned and spilled its load on the roadway. But it happened in Douglas County in Washington, but not here.
Not this Douglas County.
Not this Douglas County. The road was closed in both directions while crews worked to clear the wreckage and the now crushed cherries from the pavement. The road was reopened in both directions as of now.
Going to be a sticky road. That's for sure. That's usually the end of these truck spills.
Yeah.
Usually the end of the story is like, whoop, it's probably pretty sticky out there. And that makes a lot of sense. Okay, Joey, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. I got a couple things here. First, Chris writes in, poll question. Do we have access to be able to do poll questions?
Yeah, I got
the Twitter up.
Yep, I got it.
Poll question, should you be naked outside? Because we got a comment on YouTube. RNG Schwartzbilder writes in, my property, I can be naked. Stop assuming you need to see my yard from your home thousands of miles away. That is, I mean, he makes it. Now, don't be naked in your yard just because you can be. I disagree with that sentiment. But the sentiment in this comment that I do generally agree with is you don't have to acquiesce to me just because I want to be online, not viewing naked people from my house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to just see a house or something like that. I shouldn't be subject to naked people, but it's also not my deal. You kind of get what you get in that situation. So I guess that's fair. I also would just generally say don't do it. Don't be naked.
There's risk.
Got another text here from John. Who the hell puts cherries in root beer? I don't know. Great question. I don't drink root beer. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. I was trying to come up with some good hints, so they're not good enough.
Are there cherries in a root beer float? Is that what you were thinking?
Maybe.
I don't know how root beer floats work either.
I don't know.
It's just root beer and ice cream. Is there anything else you could do with it? Could you put whipped cream in there? Then it becomes a root beer sundae of sorts. I'm not sure. I don't drink root beer. I don't drink root beer floats. Not my style.
I don't either. I had my first one last year at the Children's Museum for an event.
You had your first root beer float in your life at the Children's Museum?
Yes.
That's
for an
awesome.
event.
That's probably the place to get it.
Yep. They were celebrating it.
I bet they have pretty good root beer floats out there.
Yeah, it was decent.
This is kind of sweet from the 308. The Google car caught my dog. She said the dog has since passed, and once in a while I'll go back and check on.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
awesome.
Yeah,
well, they
very
do
heartwarming.
come by every couple of years though, and they'll replace the image. But the thing that you could do is they archive the images, so like they'll have here's what it looked like in 2017. Here's what it looked like in 2022. Here's what it looked like in 1998. Or only some places obviously go back that far, but they're constantly going. I wonder how many Google cars there are. We could check that while we got a second here.
The cool thing is there's this person, I think since the start of COVID, they were posting aerial shots of the Omaha Metro from as early as 1938.
I love those. I love those pictures.
So I Googled Omaha, Nebraska satellite history, and you open up a publicly shared file, and you can see from 1938, 1950s, 1960s. You just see what even Papillion looked like before Werner Park became a thing.
Love those pictures.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Our dear friend Sam, who often tweets into the show, he tweets pictures like that all the time. He loves Omaha. This is why me and Sam are cool, because he loves Omaha. I love Omaha. We're both obsessed with the burgeoning Omaha skyline. Yes, and all of these the signage that goes up around the city. I saw the coolest thing. We were doing a Creighton baseball broadcast this year. And gosh, I don't remember how we got on this. I think it was one of the Xavier games.
Oh, it was the Creighton football stadium.
Yeah, but how did we get on that? Because somebody had played football and then we went out into the hallway, and once again, it was another example of using Coach Buddha out in the hallway as a historical reference point, because he remembers the field and area well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we were probably talking about the new practice facility that they were putting up in the area of town that it was in,
where it was,
and stuff like
Yeah,
that. But
I
love those pictures.
I was producing the game, and I heard you guys talking about that, so I did some research through the maps.
Love historical pictures. All right, we're done vamping now. Let's take a break. The national anthem is coming up here from Werner Park, and I Have an Opinion is coming up next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
This is the I Have an Opinion song. Haven't done an intro yet. Need to get on that.
All right, it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for I think my favorite time of the week. I have an opinion. Joey agrees; it's his favorite time of the week as well.
A great segment.
Is it better than you don't have to say this out loud if you don't want to? Is it better than dumb debates?
Who knows?
Is it better than? Oh man,
What's for dinner?
It's better than what's for dinner.
Yeah.
Well, while I like what's for dinner, and I'm not a what's for dinner hater, it's better than what's for dinner.
I would say it's
I
better.
have an opinion.
It's better.
It's a glorified mailbag, but it's filled with opinions instead of weird questions from people. Oh,
Yes.
What time do you go to bed at night? No, it's what time do I, the listener, go to bed at night, and you're stupid for not doing the same thing. That's what I have an opinion is. And by the way, if you send in an opinion in the next 15 or 20 minutes while the segment is going on and it is chosen by me at the end of the show, you will win 4 general admission passes to the Nebraska State Fair coming up at the end of August.
Oh, yeah, over in Grand Island.
Think of all the corn dogs that they'll have at that.
Connor, your eyes are grubbing.
They are.
Your eyes are wide. When
Honestly, we're halfway through the show, Joey, and I'm starting to get the itch a little bit.
Yeah.
I got to tell you. Now, we don't have any more guests coming up, so it would have to maybe be during the break, but we turn the cameras back on, for you all. We could make that happen. All right, I have an opinion. Thank you for sending these in. We could use some more, so continue to do that throughout the segment today. Let's go to the Equitable Bank inbox first. I think I have 1 or 2 here, and then we'll go over to the stream and the text line. I have an opinion. We need a 30 for 30 on the 2024 rivalry weekend in college football. With all the concern of conference realignment and rivalries being lost, that entire weekend was absolute chaos. Remember the immediate fallout from the Iowa players and fans and about Rule walking through Iowa's warm-ups and Nebraska captains not shaking hands at the coin toss? Little did we know that would be just a footnote that everything else that happened that weekend. Gosh, I mean, I'd have to really think about this. I guess I haven't really thought about rivalry weekend from last year that much. I do remember, obviously, the no handshake thing, which they took weirdly personal. There's no doubt about that. So let me go up and pull 2024 week. What are we looking for? 14.
Yeah, week 14.
14.
There were a couple games where it went chaotic and on the football field.
Well, these are just the games. Why don't we get the final scores here? Egg Bowl happened that weekend.
I know North Carolina State played that weekend.
Yeah, you had of course the Wisconsin Minnesota thing. I mean, there was definitely some chaos. 2024 week 14 CFB. So what's going on out here? Dallas Keuchel's got his arms raised out. He's asking for time for some reason. Okay, so that was the Georgia Tech game. That game was wild. I remember watching that during Big Red Overreaction.
Jack Mitchell.
That was crazy. Man, let's see. Oregon beat the crap out of Washington. Of course, there was the Michigan-Ohio State situation last year.
Wow,
Mike Jershely is coming out to argue, by the way.
Texas State was a low-scoring game.
Texas
A&M.
Texas A&M. Yeah. I remember that game too. Texas A&M really never had a chance to win that game.
Oh yeah, Miami lost to Syracuse.
Okay, that was a big one because that changed the sort of path of the college football playoff. Indiana smacked the crap out of Purdue.
Oh yeah, South Carolina
beat Clemson was a significant one. That's for sure. That changed the look of the college football playoff a little bit. Iowa State beat K-State to get their way into the Big 12 championship game.
Yep.
That was important. Let's see. Illinois took care of business against Northwestern. Is there anything else that happened like in a grand scheme of things? No, but you're right. You're right, Chris. There was like 4 or 5 kind of crazy things that happened that weekend. But that's what always happens on rivalry weekend, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Krecky, for reminding me of this. That was flag planting day. That was North Carolina or NC State planted the flag on North Carolina, or the other way around. I can't remember which way it was. And then you had the whole Ohio State Michigan thing where they were fighting each other and there was pepper spray. Could you do like remember the 30 for 30 they did about June 30th, 1994 or whatever with the OJ thing, the OJ chase happening, and like what were the other things that happened on that day? There was like
the NBA Finals.
NBA Finals.
The New York Knicks against the Houston Rockets.
Yes. Griffey hit like 3 home runs or something like that at Kauffman Stadium. And they kind of shifted in and out of all those things that happened on that day. Maybe you could do that for the college football sickos. That's sort of interesting. Okay.
We'll have a little big game action or like the small team stuff.
Good email. Good email. Mustache Adam writes in on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. He tweets this at Josh as well, Josh Peterson. Happer Show was just talking about how much they love the I Have an Opinion segment, so it got me thinking, what are the top segments that you have been on 1620 and at any time that you are not or were not a part of? The top segments that have been on 1620 that you were not oh, man. Well, I mean, that's basically everything for me. Everything that's not I Have an Opinion. Like, I remember listening to like the draft, and then they killed the draft. Classic. I'm not, but I wasn't sitting there thinking like I wish I could be a part of the draft. I wish in some cases that the listeners would be less idiotic sometimes and draft good things instead of drafting bad things. So there's that piece of it.
1620 the casino. That's usually a John and Josh thing.
Yeah, I wish that never existed because they don't know how to deal blackjack, obviously. So there's that part of it. I was fortunate enough to be a part of Topic Alert Day, which was fantastic.
That
was
a fun day.
I mean, there's so many before my time that were epic radio moments. I don't know that one comes to my head, but there's so many good things that have happened at 1620 that obviously do not include me. All right. From the 402, and by the way, that wasn't an opinion. That was just a question, but we read it anyway. For the 402, I have an opinion. People who need a separate wallet just to contain their treasure trove of gift cards are rich. Let me tell you, all right, one of the things that weirdly, and this is not just people who work in radio and have who get these things.
Mm-hmm.
This is everyone. You don't just randomly accumulate a pile of gift cards over a long period of time, whether it's from birthdays or maybe you have like a work anniversary or something like that, or happy real anniversary. Here's a $10 gift card. Go get coffee or something like that. You're telling me that you don't have a pile of gift cards that you want to just separate out from the other gift cards and put them in a separate wallet somewhere?
I have that at home.
Of course you do. Of course you do. So not everybody that does that is rich. I'm not rich. I just have a lot of gift cards.
I'm not rich, and I got some gift cards that I won't even use.
Do you have a gift card wallet?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I just have it on the counter.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
Not in the safe though.
From the 402, that's right, Joey in his safe. I forgot about that. I have an opinion. The kind of like NIL graphic should be changed. You can't have a rookie like Matt starting at right tackle. The unsportsmanlike conduct crew should anchor your edges and move the morning show to guards. Thoughts, Joey?
I say that would work out, just moving them to the guard position.
So basically, you're flipping guard and tackle, because John and Josh were the guards, and Matt and Gary were the tackles, and I'm the center.
I would trust John Bishop protecting my blind side more than Matt McMaster.
Honestly, I think we are an offensive line versatile station, right? So like if you said at any moment you have to put, Gary at left guard and you have to put John at right tackle, like that could happen. We could mix it all up. But I do like in every fake iteration of the NIL graphic that we put out yesterday for our cash contest, I'm always the center. People like me as the
You are
center.
the center of attention.
I'm the signal caller. I'm pointing out blitzing linebackers. Watch the mic. Watch 53. Here he comes. I'm calling out checks and stuff like that. Sneaky.
Would it work out if the graphic was a basketball team instead of an offensive lineman because there's 5 players in the starting lineup?
So what would that look like?
Who would be the starting point guard, shooting guards? Who's the small forward?
I think the problem here is who's the center.
That is true.
Nobody has any size. Who's the center?
Just throw someone there.
Who's the biggest? Like, I think maybe our best course of action for a basketball team would just be to put Matt at center and just have him like foul out. Because that's what he would do. Like he would play basketball probably like I imagine.
Yeah.
I would imagine he would play basketball like he would play hockey, like he was Happy Gilmore. He would just try to fight people all the time. But you would need a scrapper like that sometimes. And I don't think he's afraid to get dunked on. You know what I mean? So I'm putting him at center, even though he's probably the shortest guy out of all 5. He might be a little taller than me. I might be the shortest guy, but I'm putting him there because he's the scrapper.
Yep.
All right. That's my idea. From the 402, I have an opinion. Body wash is inferior to a bar of soap. The body wash companies make you believe that body wash is better, and people need to realize that a bar of soap is the only way to go. Joey, thoughts?
I'm not a bar of soap guy. Body wash and a sponge.
Body wash and a sponge, or the fluffy loofah deals?
Yeah, the fluffy.
Okay.
Whatever you call them.
I would need this texture to show their work a little bit. I'm not going to immediately disagree with you. I will say that in my shower, it's body wash. It's the soap, the gel, I suppose, if you will. The bar seems,
very slippery.
It's slippery. It disintegrates over time. You get less coverage, right? Because it's a bar instead of the entire loofah. I feel like the soap maybe doesn't spread around quite as much. But to the texture's point, you are literally rubbing the soap on you instead of doing it in a gel fashion.
I guess my question is, what is the longevity for a bar of soap in comparison to a body wash?
It's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. I've been a gel guy my whole life. I don't know. All right, it's interesting though. I would like to see that texture show their work a little bit. Let's see. Venmo Chris writes in, I have an opinion. There are too many bleeping Chris's, especially on the Happer Show, and we all suck. Sad to see. Then follow up, just kidding. We are cool AF. I agree with that latter statement. Yep. And there are a lot of Chris's. There are a lot of Chris's and there are a lot of Johns that text or call or interact with these shows. That makes sense because Chris and John are very, very common names. But in the case specifically of the Happer Show, there are so many Chris's and there are so many Johns.
There's so many Joshes in the building.
And then there's too many Joshes on the air. Right, exactly, in the building. You're right. So, I don't know. Just make sure you stake your claim to whatever your name is. And I do like how the Chris's have differentiated themselves. Like we got Venmo Chris, we got Chris in Montana, we got Chris. What's the other Chris? I think there's another specific kind of Chris that texts into the shows invariably as well. I can't remember at this point. But if you are a Chris and you want to be differentiated as a different kind of Chris, please tell me which Chris you'd like to be, and I will oblige. You can be whatever Chris you want.
We'll give you a title.
Here's CJ. Maybe he's a Chris. I have an opinion. Video games got way too hard to play. I bought a PS5 just for the college football game. I sucked so bad at it, and now it just collects dust. Really? You just quit, CJ?
I could kind of agree with that. They're making you do a little bit of extra work to succeed, but I get why they're doing that. They want you to be better.
The sentiment is, I think, that I think from CJ here, what he's trying to say is that he wants the video games to be a little bit more simple. He wants them to be a little bit more arcadey, like they used to be, right? Remember, it was just A to throw and B to catch or like whatever it is. Now, every time you run a play, you have 400 different options of the things that you could do. And it has led to these absolute goobers online getting really, really good at the game. And you can play it like professionally now. You know, when you're playing Pac-Man, now there's people who are really good at Pac-Man, but it's pretty simple, right? You go up and you down, you press a button, you jump, and that's the story. I agree with the sentiment. With that being said, I am at least halfway decent at the college football game.
Yeah, I'm already my second year in my dynasty head coaching career. I'm on Rutgers. My offense coordinator is Scott Frost.
President C, by the way, has arrived in the building. It's good to see you. Out from his lair, out from his bunker, which is fantastic. So let's continue on. I have another opinion from John. People that use all the random gift cards they receive are more likely to become rich. That's probably true because you're not spending your actual money.
That's true.
Let's see. Chris M. This is a different Chris, a differentiating Chris.
There we go.
I have an opinion. You should be able to eat, let's say, banana-shaped foods on camera without being made a meme. I think it's a great point from Chris M. What do you think, Joey?
I mean, people eat food. You got to eat to survive, and that there's your options right there. If it's a banana, corn dog, whatever the heck it is, it's food. Food is food.
I agree, but people have that's an out. People have the understanding that when you eat a hot dog or you eat a corn dog or you eat a popsicle or something like that, and you do it on camera, which I would argue that not a lot of people have to do. We're on camera all the time. It's part of the gig. You become a meme a little bit, and Joey, goes home and screenshots it.
Well, my friend decides to chug a Gatorade while it was on the news.
He drank a Gatorade in a very questionable way. Would you say he deserved? He got what he deserved.
It's a typical thing he would do anyway. So we're not surprised he did it.
By the way, the follow up on bar soap versus gel soap. Bar soap works by. This is from the text line. Bar soap works by dissolving the dirt on the surface of your skin. As sweat and dirt mix with your body's natural oils, it can settle on your skin and breed bacteria. Bar soap break this oily layer apart, lift pathogens away from your skin. Body wash uses the same cleansing mechanism to get dirt off your skin, but often contains a mixture of ingredients meant to help treat common skin conditions. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I don't want the skin to be dry. I feel like if I'm using soap, like bar soap, my skin's going to be dry afterwards. I have naturally dry skin, so maybe I need those oils.
Usually when it's cold, when it's in the winter, my hands will dry up, so
it's an important thing.
Yeah, it is.
That
can be a good poll question.
Do you use bar soap or gel soap? Yeah, you could do that. That's for sure. By the way, I've just received a text to my phone that says #Team Bar Soap. I wonder who sent that in. Jed writes in, I have an opinion. Happer has made me feel like crap this week. I golf every weekend and have never shot a 78. This is BS. I have no answer for you, Jed. It has gotten to the point where, look, I won the tournament, right? I shouldn't be apologizing for anything. I played out of my mind. I played really well. That's what we want to have happen. I kind of feel bad. I know people maybe who are in this tournament are sitting here like, oh, this guy feels bad a little bit. I feel bad. I played the best round of my life. I shot the best round of golf of my life by 7 strokes.
You shouldn't feel sorry. You worked hard and
I didn't though. Well, that's the problem. I didn't work hard
on the actual game day.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you could make the argument that I didn't work as hard. I relaxed more, which gave me the ability to shoot this 78. But I didn't work hard. I played no golf throughout an entire calendar year. I shot the best round of my life. Maybe it's a lesson, Jed. Don't play as much golf, and maybe you'll be better at golf. I don't know.
I mean, just look at Happy Gilmore. He hardly played golf.
Yeah. He was just drinking out of random things for 30 years. That's true. Stib says, don't feel bad. Rub it in everyone's face. Travis writes in, I have an opinion on YouTube. There are too many mic callers into this show, which is exacerbated by those Mike's horrid takes.
There's plenty of mics.
Well, we just have 2, right? We got Random Mike and a basketball Mike. who call in. I don't know of any other Mikes that have differentiated themselves at
Yeah,
this
you
point.
make a good point.
Yeah. Stips says, you want a simple arcade game? Go play Switch and Shoot at Beercade 2. One button. It's so awesome. That's what I'm talking about. Dumb it down for me to the point where there's literally one button on the entire thing.
Nice and easy.
That sounds amazing. You remember Duck Hunter? Did you ever have? You're probably a little young.
No, I didn't play Duck Hunter.
Okay, so regular Nintendo NES, right? You get the bundle that comes with the system, the console,
okay.
and you get a gun, a fake video game shotgun,
Okay.
and you get the Duck Hunter cartridge. That's all I played for a little while until like Super Mario came out and stuff like that. But I wonder where that fake gun is today. I don't have any idea.
Probably somewhere.
I bet
all the dust.
It probably is, and I bet some people sold theirs online for millions and millions of dollars. Let's see. Tom writes in. Tom with a TH. I have an opinion. Nebraska is missing a great opportunity by scheduling home games for football and volleyball on the same day, only twice this season. Attending a game at Devaney or watching volleyball in the rail yard is a blast after a football win. There's only so much you could do about it. You're just at the mercy kind of what you get from the conference, like from the league. But those do tend to be awesome days, because if Nebraska football plays first and they lose, the volleyball game becomes your palate cleanser because they always win. There's only very, very specific times where it becomes like double groin kick day, and that's if they're playing Wisconsin volleyball.
Yeah, Nebraska had the Wisconsin doubleheader for football and volleyball last season. That just come off of a bowl eligibility victory.
That's right.
Then Nebraska swept Wisconsin in volleyball later on that night.
What a beautiful day.
It was a great day for Nebraska.
What a fantastic day that was. I agree with this, Tom. This is a good take by you. I think they should probably do more in this, but there's only so much that you're in control in. Mike in Columbus, Ohio writes in. He's wondering about the mics. Hey, and now Mike in Columbus wants to be called 614 Mike, which is interesting.
Okay. We can do that.
Gosh, you guys just sit around and eat chips all day. That is definitely true. That is one of the things that I certainly do. Guess what, Joey? I had a sandwich at 7:30 this morning. What do you think about that?
I don't have a problem with it. If you're hungry,
Thank you.
Get some food.
Thank you, Joey. He's very accepting of the times in which I eat my foods. And some people will make fun of me for eating a sandwich at 7:30 in the morning. I'm not talking about a breakfast sandwich. I'm talking about a turkey sandwich with mustard, mayonnaise, and a little dash of Chick-fil-A sauce.
I mean, if you need something quick and easy to make, just to chow down.
And I didn't have any breakfast. I didn't want to, load up the frying pan to make eggs or anything like that. So I made a sandwich.
A lazy sandwich.
What's the problem with that?
It's worth it.
Thank you, Joey. I appreciate that. That is I Have an Opinion. Thank you for sending yours. And you should continue to do that as we continue to do this segment 1 week at a time. And one of you, I'm happy to say, will be going home with 4 general admission passes to the Nebraska State Fair coming up at the end of the month. I'll reach out at the end of the show, whoever wins that. All right. Quick timeout. We got plenty of sports coming at you. We're at Werner Park. We are through the first. It's the top of the second. There are 2 outs. Dallas Keuchel is pitching. Fun fact that Nick Batters told me before the game today, Dallas Keuchel has not thrown one pitch at or above 89 miles per hour the entire time he's been here. So my man is just throwing strikes and getting outs. That's what he is doing. All right. We'll be back. More of the Connor Happer Show to come on 1620 The Zone. Welcome back. The Connor Happer Show is live at Werner Park today, watching some day baseball. It's Omaha and Louisville. I forgot this opinion came in early, so it kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit from Pedro. We always have a couple stragglers here in this segment. Pedro writes in, he says, "Hi, guys," as he usually does. "I have an opinion. Watching the funeral of Ozzy Osbourne, I realized that the wrong people are getting recognized and placed on a pedestal. It should be school teachers, coaches, and radio producers of certain sports shows that should be recognized and placed on that pedestal." What do you think about that, Joey?
I like that idea.
Certain radio producers. I don't know which ones he's talking about, but certain ones. I agree. We should talk more about sports talk radio hosts and their lives and things like that. And they are the people that should be honored with these great honors at the end of their lives or at the end of their careers. Completely. You know what? When is going to be, when will the first stadium podcast be? You know how they do like live recordings of podcasts at like little theaters and stuff like that?
Oh, so you're talking about Josh and Jack's little recording?
I'm talking about, like they sometimes, like Bill Simmons does this. He'll go to a city, he'll go to Philadelphia or something like that, and he'll show up and he'll rent out a theater for the night, and they'll do a live Bill Simmons podcast or like a live show with Russillo or something like that. And they'll sell tickets to it. There'll be a couple thousand people in there or a few hundred or whatever it might be. Yeah. Who has the first show that's big enough to do a stadium podcast or stadium radio show?
For 1620 Zone you're talking about?
It could be anybody.
I mean, we're doing a radio show.
It could be us. We could do one at Werner Park, or at Air, sell this thing out. But I'm talking about not the baseball game being the center of attention. I'm talking about the radio show being the center of attention. It's an interesting thought. By the way, we're at Werner Park and we know people who know people. And so Platt Cat is here today, and he came by and he said, "Can I purchase you a corn dog?" He's going to get one himself. And I said, absolutely, you could purchase a corn dog for us. And so here it is. Cheers, my friend. And happy 6 weeks of work to you. That's Black Cat, our guy from the comments. And now video content for everybody. Look at that. Now, are you going to put, when you eat a corn dog, Joey, what do you dress it with?
Usually ketchup and relish.
Ketchup and relish on a corn dog.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad.
Interesting. We'll have all three bases laid here because I usually do just mustard or plain. That's what I'm doing right now.
I don't want to be messy because I got a white polo on.
Oh yeah, no, you don't want to do that. So you might have to go.
Just go generic.
I have to go generic. Just straight corn dog. Raw dogging it, as they say. Nick writes in, Chicken Nick. Chicken Nick should do the first. They should rent out.
Just do CHI and play a bunch of John Bishop drops.
Do CHI, and they could get 15, 20,000 people in there and watch a live recording of the Chicken Nick show, and the stadium is completely full, rooting for them during their podcasts. If they need an MC to pump up the crowd during that period of time, I am at their fingertips. Alex and Lincoln says Joe Rogan. Rogan, do you think Rogan could do it right now? Could Rogan, if he went to like a football stadium,
I think,
and they did a live podcast recording at a football stadium, could he sell it out?
I think it can. I know another name, Pat McAfee, could definitely do such a thing.
McAfee does his show. And it's the main attraction.
Yeah,
it's fascinating. I feel like we're on the verge of that.
People will do anything to go see Joe Rogan or Pat McAfee in person.
We are on the verge of that. We are getting close to that happening. And then one more opinion, because I thought this was pretty good from the 402. Last week, my grocery store changed the layout. I have an opinion. Last week, my grocery store changed the layout of where all the food was, and it completely ruined my day. I'm thinking about changing grocery stores. Joey, you're in the grocery store community.
I mean, I have a particular grocery store because I know where things are at. So I go to whatever aisle to get my things, and I'm in and out quickly.
It's super disorienting when you go to a grocery store.
Yeah.
And then you go to maybe like a different branch of the same grocery store, and it looks like the same store, but all the things are in different
They're
places.
organized in different
That
fashions.
is so weird to me. That's why you always go to the same grocery store.
Yeah.
Just over and over and
Yep.
over again. Pick one, and honestly, you're at the mercy of what you get. If you just so happen to live by a nice Hy-Vee, then you live by a nice Hy-Vee.
Yeah.
You live by a nice Target, and that's the one you go into. That's the one you go to. John, another opinion. Eating into a microphone live should be reserved for the afternoon show. We don't need this disgusting practice on more than one show. Yeah, I took one bite and I realized that it was crackling in my ears, and I was like, "This is not a good idea. I'm not going to do this.
Do that
anymore.
in the break. It'll stay warm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do this anymore." Grecky says Kill Tony sells out at Madison Square Garden. So is that what actually is Kill Tony? Is that a podcast or is that like
I'm
a
not
stand-up
sure.
show?
I am not familiar with that.
I know Tony Hitchcliffe. He's the guy who does it. Is that I don't think it's a podcast per se, but maybe he would disagree with that. All right, we got a bunch more coming up today on the show. Sorry, we sort of just wasted a segment there, but that's kind of what we're doing here as we're at the ball game as we head to the top of the third. Nothing between Omaha and Louisville. Dallas Keuchel on the mound for the Omaha Storm Chasers. So we're going to read the Facebook comments on Nebraska selling booze.
Oh yeah, there's that on Facebook and also on Twitter. I was looking through.
The comments are pretty good on Twitter too. Okay, so we'll ask Joey to bring some to the table as well. When we'll do that coming up at 1:00. A few things coming up next, but mentioned this earlier, and it pays to continue. If you listened through me taking one bite of a corn dog delivered to me kindly by Platt Cat, and you were like, "Ugh, disgusting," but I like these guys so much. So I'm just going to keep on listening to this show. You are in luck because now it's going to pay off. We have a pair of tickets to Creed.
Ooh.
Creed at Pinnacle Bank Arena. The show is Friday. I didn't even know about this. The show is Friday at PBA. This Friday, August 1. And we have pairs of Creed tickets. We're going to do this today and tomorrow. So 2 Creed tickets at PBA in Lincoln are on the line right now for caller number 4 at 951-1620. Caller 4, 951-1620 right now is going to win 2 tickets to the Creed concert on Friday, the Summer of 99 tour. We'll have tickets today and tomorrow, so stay tuned for your chance to listen. Jake will get you hooked up, and we'll be back after this on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. Welcome back to Werner Park. With you here in the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, and on 1620thezone.com. Nice day out here at the yard, even a little cool breeze coming in. It is the top half of the third between the Bats and the Chasers. If you want to come watch Dallas Keuchel pitch, you probably don't have very much time left, but he's doing all right so far. Oh, I guess we're in the bottom of the third. Blanco steals, and he is safe at second without a tag. We need Josh here to do 1940s man voice. By the way, speaking of that, I think it was Mustache Adam earlier who sent us a video of I think it was old Babe Ruth clips, and it was like, we need Josh to come back and in 1940s man announce this upon his return, which I think is an incredible.
That's a good idea.
Incredible idea.
He fits that vibe.
So we'll have to remember that for next week. Another thing we'll have to remember for tomorrow is the top poll questions for the month.
Oh yeah, it's the end of the
July as well. So I'll have some digging to do tonight as well. All right, I wanted to talk about this for a couple of days. It's been on my sheet, so I want to get it off here. One of the so there's currently an investigation going on in baseball surrounding gambling, right? Luis L. Ortiz in the for the Guardians and Manuel Clase apparently under investigation by Major League Baseball because throwing first pitches of innings, and that's the type of things that apparently they were gambling on, or at least they were implicated to have some involvement with gambling on, if I could lawyer that one pretty quickly. So one of the common complaints that I always hear from fans surrounding this is baseball is hypocritical because while suspending their players for, and this is going to be an RBI single by Drew Waters, while suspending their players and putting them under investigation for gambling, they're also inundating us with gambling advertisements. Here comes Carter Jensen to the plate. If Carter Jensen, it's a home run here, it's plus 950, and you can get a great deal and $10 in bonus bets on the sports book, whatever it might be. And people say, look at this. Isn't this hypocritical of Major League Baseball? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to talk about this for a second. I don't love, like anybody else, being bombarded by gambling ads. I don't love being bombarded by ads in general. That's for sure. They are everywhere. There's no doubt about it. Every regional television network you watch to watch your local Major League Baseball team, including the Royals, who play on the FanDuel Sports Network, right? You're gonna have some of that pop up during the games, and I don't like love it. It doesn't make a difference to me that much, but it's not like I need that to happen. But I do want to get something straight. Major League Baseball is not being hypocritical just because they're in business with the companies and it's illegal for the players to bet on baseball. I don't understand why people can't really get that one through for some reason. It's a common thing you'll see. Oh, classic MLB suspending Emmanuel Clase because he's implicated in a gambling thing, and that's brought to you by the FanDuel Sportsbook, or it's brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook or something like that. Like, and people will just say, look at that. I don't understand what's difficult to get about that. Like, it is on its face illegal for Major League Baseball players to be betting on their own sport and certainly betting on or against themselves. They are not allowed to be involved with it. The rules are different for them, just like the rules are different for everybody else. That's what they sign up for when they become Major League Baseball players. So if the greater business known as business known as Major League Baseball, the conglomerate, wants to find an avenue to make money, and they feel like they're serving their fans and they feel like they're serving the baseball community, and it makes sense as a partnership because it's already sports, then I don't see a problem with Major League Baseball taking their money. If FanDuel Sportsbook wants to advertise on FanDuel Sports Network and or whatever sports network or whatever game, they have the obligation, or they not the obligation, they have the ability and the option to do so if they want. And Major League Baseball is not hypocritical if they accept that money. Or any organization is not hypocritical if they accept that money. It's a really tired joke, in my opinion, that I see keep going around on Twitter these days.
I guess they're just trying to get more fans engaged with the game
Yeah,
itself.
like I don't know if it works. I don't know if their advertising is effective. I have no idea. I assume they're exposing it to enough people to where they feel like they're getting a payback off of it. But once again, even if they were getting no return on investment from advertising on baseball networks and advertising during baseball games, even if they were getting nothing back from it, it still wouldn't be hypocritical of Major League Baseball to take their money, or for any individual team to take their money. There's a 3-run home run. Harold Castro goes deep into right center field. And it's gone. And a kid is jumping for joy in right center. 3-0 Omaha. Anyway, Bayamon writes in. Well, you are talking about it right now. No, I'm talking about how it's stupid, Bayamon. I'm talking about how we should probably stop making that joke on the internet because enough people say it and they think that it's a truism. I'm like, no, you're. These are two separate things. These are two separate things that we're talking about. And I'll repeat once again, Major League Baseball players are not anymore. I mean, you have to understand. So maybe part of the argument is that players, the more they are exposed to the advertisements, they feel like they can, do it. They are trained. They get all the education necessary. There is no excuse. The only reason you do it is you are not the reason you do it, or the circumstances in which you do it. If you're gambling on baseball and you're in baseball, you're breaking the rules. You have to know every time. You get enough training on it and you get enough education about it that there's no way you don't know. So you are a willing participant in this, even though you have been told not to over and over and over again, and you'll be kicked out for baseball from life and shunned from this sport. I don't like it. At a certain point, it has to fall on the people who's doing it, their shoulders. So I don't know. It's just something that I wanted to get off my chest because it's been on there for a couple of days. All right, we'll take a quick timeout. 1 o'clock hour is coming up. Yeah, we got to read those Facebook comments. That's certainly true.
Got to see what the fans say.
Plenty more to come. Live baseball from Werner Park. It's actually 4-0 Storm Chasers. Was that a grand slam that we just witnessed?
It was a 3-run homer.
I don't see how they get there. Oh, yeah, it was the RBI single by Drew Waters.
Yeah, 3-run.
1 o'clock hour coming up next on 1620 The Zone. to the ballpark, everybody. Connor Happer with you here today. Joey Colbert off to my right.
Not pushing any buttons.
Not pushing any. You seem like you prefer to be pressing buttons, though.
I mean, I'm so used to it. It's good to have a break.
You like a
every
little
once in a while.
change? All
Yeah.
right, I
Nice,
like it.
Nice change in scenery. It's my second time watching a baseball game at Werner Park.
Super crazy. I don't know how that's happened. We got to get you out here sooner rather than later to the ballpark next time. But good to have you here, and good to have you all here as well. Shout out to our guy Platt Cat,
Yes.
who brought us corn dogs,
Got
which
some
we
extra napkins for the glove box.
we absolutely smashed those corn dogs during one 4-minute break, which was fantastic.
I was able to use the ketchup and relish he provided.
Yeah, with a little mustard. I was glad I did. It was nice little
Game changer.
exactly the twang that I needed on there. Nebraska announced this morning its plans for Fan Day this upcoming Saturday, followed by the Big Red Preview Open Practice. The Fan Day is free, and this is where Joey goes to with his friends to get interviewed by local television stations,
That was
right?
that was the last time I was there for Fan Day.
How long was it ago again?
That was Mike Riley's last year.
17?
Yes.
Wow, it's been a while.
We got there real early, got his autograph and Sean Eichhorst's autograph. They were both sitting together.
Sean Eichhorst was fired 6 weeks later.
No,
that's awesome.
It was on a white Nebraska hat, and then I think a long time ago, I just got rid of the hat, so I don't know where it's at. It's in someone's possession.
Wow.
But yeah, the autograph is there, Mike Riley and Sean Eichhorst.
Think about all the if you've gone to every Fan Day, think about all the random autographs that you have. You know what I mean?
I got a supply of autographs back in storage.
That's a lot of random dudes. Like when I was a little kid growing up going to the College World Series, all I wanted to do was just get a baseball sign.
Yeah.
I didn't care who it was by, and I didn't care what kind of baseball it was. I got a baseball from the bucket or something like that. Not that I had a bucket of baseballs, but just old beat up baseballs that I had thrown around and used to play catch with. I brought it, took it to the ballpark, had a bunch of dudes from Clemson or Tulane sign it, and I have no idea who those guys are. Was one or two of them probably end up being a major leaguer? Sure.
Yep.
But were the rest of them, just accountants? Probably. Actually, baseball guys don't usually become accountants. Baseball guys aren't that smart. Baseball guys end up, I don't know, working in baseball.
But yeah, I've had
some baseball stuff.
I've been over at Fan Day for several years as a child. It ran its course. It was nice to have that as a child, going down there to post for some pictures with some Huskers.
You should pull one of the artifacts out one day.
Yeah,
bring it in, and then we'll try and identify the autographs based on what team it is.
I got a football with Bo's signature on there, and then I lost my hat. Oh, I gave away the hat that had Mike Riley's signature on it.
It sounds like a fun game, though, don't you think?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
We'll grab something, and we'll
It's
see.
lookable.
We'll see what you got.
Got some familiar names.
So 4:30 to 6 inside the Hawks on Saturday, and then the Big Red Preview presented by 1890 will start at 6:30 inside Memorial Stadium. Gates will open at 5:30. It costs you $30 for West Stadium Club access, $20 for general admission adults, and $10 for youths. That would be high school and under. Another home run just happened by Edwin Rios of Louisville. It's now 4-2. And then there will be a $1 fee added to each ticket. So if you're thinking you're going to pay $20, you're actually going to pay $21. So get prepared for that.
Nice odd number.
But does anybody have a $21 bill? No, I don't think anybody takes cash anymore. Anyway, so the big part of the Big Red Preview, at least that people are starting to become aware about today, is there will be alcohol served. Alcohol served. Concessions, including beer, will be available on the main concourse of West Stadium and on field level in North Stadium for ADA patrons. Concessions will be cashless. You will have the opportunity to buy a beer and watch practice, which sounds exciting. So this is going to be rolled out this fall. It's something that I completely forgot about because it's not a big deal at all. But here we are. it gets posted on social media, and people start to ask some questions again. So, Joey, you pulled up the Twitter. I think it's a good thing to do because I wanted to note how they presented this, how Nebraska presented this on social media. They said in their tweet, "Cheers, Husker Nation. Alcohol sales have been officially approved at Memorial Stadium this season, beginning on Saturday with the Big Red preview." And they put out a graphic of a football player with a beer can that says Big Red Preview on it for the graphic.
Oh, you're encouraging college football players to drink while they're in action.
And then they followed up with a tweet that said, "Go Beer Red." So they went for it, and not surprising to any of us. There are some people, I think it's few and far between, who are like, this is a bad thing. Now, most of the general public will say, cool, thank you. I will take you up on that. I will purchase a beer from the concession stand. That sounds like a great idea. And I will approach drinking the beer like a totally normal person and not have 14 and start punching people in the head like they do at NFL games. No, most people are normal. And most people just like to sip a beer at a baseball game or at a football practice.
It's nice and refreshing.
But when some people think about what their experience of people around them drinking at games is like, they immediately go to the worst. Let's go to Facebook first. Here is a comment from Andy on the Huskers Facebook page. "Not a fan of alcohol at games. I myself don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of belligerent drunks. If you need alcohol to be able to enjoy a football game, you might want to get in touch with AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, Joey. Just saying."
Okay.
I don't think that was the implication in the tweet from Nebraska, but it was certainly a comment on this page. What do we have on Twitter?
All right, Chalmy says, "Nothing like being last, but at least we can say finally. Perhaps the inside of the stadium will be an intimidating place to play."
Oh, okay. That's a positive comment then. That's a positive comment. That's good. Back to Facebook. Heath, "Don't like it, don't buy it, or better yet, don't go. So I could actually take my kids, get tickets to take my kids where we will not purchase beer if we don't want to." Sounds like Heath has a lot of problems with a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, he will do exactly what he wants to do, which is all anybody wants.
It's your choice.
Yes.
All right, some CEO on Twitter says Scott Frost is on the phone with his agent trying to see if he can get his old job back.
That's kind of funny. Yeah, right. That's kind of funny. I like that. Anything else on there? Got a few more?
Yeah, I'm just looking through
the comments.
I take leaving at halftime over having alcohol in the stadium.
Whoa. Wow. Really?
Yes.
Man,
one listener.
It's amazing how out of touch people are. Like it really is amazing.
Yeah.
How unimpactful it is when you go to sporting events. Like I said, there are a few strange people, and there are a few people who, yes, take it a little bit too far. But it's not like if you go to Memorial Stadium and watch a football game and you have the ability to purchase beverages, you are going to be surrounded by 70,000 drunk asses.
That is true.
That is not what's happening. That is not what's going to happen at Memorial Stadium. In fact, I wonder about this from a logistical standpoint, and there was a lot of concerns about that from Troy Dannon, like, how do we actually do this? Because when they rolled it out at PBA, which is keep in mind, a brand new arena, brand new, it was 10 years old at the time, but like when they rolled it out at PBA a couple of years ago, there was a lot of issues with the timeliness in which they were able to get people their beers. There were long lines and stuff like that. And so it led people to just not buy beers, and then it became a little bit of a detriment as far as the money that they had to put into it and the money that they were getting out. So, like, I wonder how it works logistically. There's so many Nebraskans who do the same thing on game day because they've been doing the same thing on game day for 400 years. for generations of Husker fans. We go to this spot to tailgate. We walk into the stadium at this exact time. We go directly to our seats. We know exactly how long it's going to take. It is planned out to a T. And those people won't drink. They won't purchase alcohol. They won't do it because they have their plan and they have their routine, and that's fine. So I don't get any sort of outrage to this stuff, but people are outraged about the craziest stuff these days.
Find a way to enhance the viewing experience.
Yep, no doubt about it. I mean, I don't know. I don't mind having a beer at a baseball game. I don't mind having a beer at a football game. I can't remember a time where I had too many beers at a baseball or a football game and I wanted to fight somebody. But that's not my personality. Maybe it is some people's. I always get weirded out when anybody wants to fight anybody, for the record.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Just, can you say sorry or something like that?
Yeah.
Just go like, but apparently people have too much pride and they can't drop it. Jesse writes in. He says, who can afford to get drunk at a sporting event? It's all about going in drunk, which already happens, or sneak it in. I imagine, Jesse, it'll probably be a little bit more difficult to sneak it in these days. This is definitely something that has been happening over the years. I imagine it might be a little bit more difficult these days. I don't know if they, are really checking at the doors, but with the purchase of alcohol sales, maybe they are a little bit more stringent. But drinking before is definitely an activity that goes on.
It is
if
a
you've ever
tradition.
been to anywhere. Right. John writes in. John says, if you think someone enjoying a beer at a football game is a belligerent alcoholic, you really need to take a look at how you view other people. I don't need to wear a mask because you think I should, and I can have a beer at a football game even if you don't want me to. Get over yourself, Karen or Kevin. And, a different thing, a bad thing. So, yeah, everybody just mind their own business. That's what I would say to them. All right. So they're getting less and less as far as the crazy commenters are concerned of like people are triggered about these things. You'll go to Memorial Stadium this fall. There will be selling alcohol, and you almost 95% you will not notice. You will not notice that it's even happening around you. I'm pretty certain of that.
Just an extra menu item.
Beefy the Cat writes in on Twitter. It's rare that I get to listen live to Happer, but I get to today. What is his job when he broadcasts from Werner Park? Well, my job is to do this radio show. So we had done it several times before where I was both the MC for the game and I was doing the show, and I would kind of pop up and pop down and be running around the ballpark and all that stuff. But the last two times we've done it, I was just like, yeah, I just kind of want to do the show.
Just want to relax.
And Joey,
sit back and hang out with your favorite fill-in.
My favorite fill-in producer.
Jake.
Exact. Jake, Peter, we love all of you. Joey just self-proclaimed him my favorite fill-in producer. Joel writes in on Twitter about booze at the stadium. I won't buy one because I don't want to walk 15 minutes to the bathroom. Yeah. Joel, I'll tell you what, I don't know where Joel sits, but my guess is South Stadium. If you are in the 60th row and above at South Stadium, it's going to take you a while.
Sit in the 600s over in East Stadium, or is it East or West?
East.
Yeah, just smaller capacity area.
They got a nice concourse back there too.
Nice concourse. You got backrest. You got a lot of space.
This is another reason why they need to redo South Stadium so it doesn't take people 400 hours and the entire first. I mean, seriously, when I was in college and we would go downstairs to go to the bathroom because we had to because of the aforementioned pre-gaming and like get a hot dog or a pizza or something like that. Like I just wouldn't go. Like I would just be miserable the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
And if I really had to go to the bathroom, I would have to. I mean, it'd take like at least a half a quarter. That's an eighth of the game that you're paying to go to. It's a different deal up there, that's for sure. All right, we'll take a quick timeout. We still have a bunch more things to come. Baseball, that is on Hug Watch today and tomorrow, getting ready for the trade deadline. I'd like to introduce to you another responsibility that we have upcoming for The Wheel. And we still have a few more things after that. All to come with the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. All right, we're in the top of the fifth here in Papillion at Werner Park. It is Omaha and Louisville, 4-2. The Chasers lead the bats. Dallas Keuchel just got another out, so he's got his 13th out of the game so far this afternoon. Welcome back. Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. One reminder for you before we get going here. The ABCA First Serve Weekend is headed to Lincoln. 1620 The Zone wants to send you to that event in style. The ABCA First Serve Weekend will showcase 10 of the nation's top 10 Division I college volleyball programs August 22 to 24 in Lincoln. Those would include Nebraska and Creighton. You have a chance to win 2 tickets to the First Serve Showcase and also a 2-night stay in a hotel in downtown Lincoln and $150 in spending money. And you can do that all online. Just go on to 1620thezone.com right now. get yourself signed up for that little Lincoln staycation and get a little volleyball in as well. People are excited for volleyball season on both programs. You see Creighton sold out yesterday of season tickets. Pretty good.
Very creative non-conference promotion.
They did at a good schedule release. I can't, as I mentioned on Twitter, I cannot imagine how long that took to put together, but well done by the hardworking folks over there at Creighton as well, who will be a part of the AVCA First Serve Showcase in Lincoln. All right, a couple of baseball topics that I have for you here. I know we talked about baseball and baseball overreaction yesterday, and we are at a baseball game after all. As you guys know, I'm a Royals fan, and as you also might know, I am appreciative of when teams sign their players. I am appreciative of when they don't view them as like a number, a baseball, just their baseball qualities. They look at a total picture as, what do these people mean? What does this person mean to our fan base? What is it, are there a lot of people walking around with their jerseys? We want this guy to be here long term. I think it has positive impacts on the player's career and the franchise's relationship with the fans, the community as well. So I think it's like a win-win when all that stuff happens. I think one of the negative parts about this whole like player empowerment era thing we have going on right now, and all these guys. I mean, Juan Soto is the example I use for baseball because he played for 4 teams and he's only been in the league for what, 5-6 years at this point. So Juan Soto, his legacy is, if he stays in New York for the Mets for the rest of his career, then it's a different story. But I imagine he bounces around to some more teams. In the meantime, his legacy is absolutely and definitively hurt by the fact that he's played for 100 teams and he's only 25 years old at the moment.
Still early in his career,
no doubt. I mean, so I think he is not necessarily viewed as a villain of the sport, but like he is, he hasn't endeared himself necessarily to one fan base, maybe Washington. So all that preamble is to say this. I read this quote from Vinny Pasquantino last night, former Omaha Storm Chaser, current Kansas City Royal. And the Royals are quote unquote contending. They're not really contending. They're in the mix, right? They're in the do we buy, do we sell trade deadline range, 4.5, 5 games out of the wild card, like kind of what do we do range. So it's not like a super contending team or anything like that. But Vinny said this last night. The Royals extended Seth Lugo instead of trading him. He was the main trade deadline target for everybody on the Royals roster. And what they did was not trade him, but they signed him to a longer-term extension. They're going to have him for 2 more years after this year. Vinny Pasquantino said this: I think it's big for the team because it gives us some clarity, because this week is always a little bit weird. There was like a weird cloud hanging over the team. And to be honest, I kind of felt like that ended that move. I think the organization made a really smart decision doing that. It's not common for small market teams to make moves like that. That fires up the locker room. I know Lugo's pumped. I'm pumped. Waka's pumped. Bob's pumped. Sal's pumped. Everybody's pumped. Like, I maybe overdo it from the fan base perspective and how appreciative I am of guys staying in the same place for a long time. But that is tangible evidence right there from the player side that it makes a difference from a team psyche perspective. And I think what Vinny is talking about, it's not just this year. Obviously, it emboldens them to feel better about what the team is putting around them this year. But he's also talking about the future of the franchise. Hey, we're not scared as a small market franchise like the Royals are. We're not scared to not necessarily just cash in on a guy. We want, if you're a good player for us and the fan base likes you and you're consistent and you check all of our boxes and all those things, we'll have you around for as long as you want to be here. They did an unorthodox, they didn't do an unorthodox thing for baseball, but they did an unorthodox thing for them, the Royals, when they signed Bobby Witt Jr. to a long-term extension. I mean, they did it at a young age. He had he's 1 year deep, I guess, into his rookie year at that point, after he just played 1 year, maybe 2, I guess it was. and they signed him to the biggest contract the Royals have ever given out in their team history. Most years, most money, most average, like all of that stuff. And I think, team players are more likely to play ball with you if they know that you're negotiating in good faith and they know that they value you as well. I just think it's such a win on like 400 different levels. So kudos to the Royals. I'm a honk, obviously, but kudos to the Royals, I think, for making that happen. I think it'll pay dividends for them. Another baseball thing, as we're talking about there, it is indeed Hug Watch day and days. We've been on Hug Watch probably since the start of the week, as the trade deadline conversations have really heated up. The trade deadline is tomorrow afternoon. And the Royals, by the way, speaking of them, they have announced that their team plane is not. They're going to Toronto this weekend. Their team plane is not leaving until after the deadline comes and goes, just in case they don't want to deal with the logistics part.
Going in and out of the country.
Exactly. Well, there's that piece.
It's a little complicated.
So they have the day off tomorrow. Usually, you would leave after Wednesday and like spend the night in Toronto Wednesday night and spend the off day in Toronto, but they're not leaving until Thursday evening, which it's a logistical thing, but inside baseball a little bit. So a couple things from Hug Watch yesterday. The Toronto Blue Jays and the Baltimore Orioles did a deal. Sir Anthony Dominguez. So Baltimore sweeps the doubleheader from Toronto yesterday, but for Sir Anthony Dominguez, who was at the start of the day a Baltimore Oriole, it was just a split for him because he played for Toronto in the second game.
Wow.
This happens every 2 or 3 years. Like it's one of the things that we wonder about. Like, hey, has it ever happened where the guy just kind of walked over to the other clubhouse?
Yeah.
And sure enough, there was video yesterday of Sir Anthony Dominguez immediately after learning he was traded to the other locker room from Baltimore to Toronto, walking in the on the ground level concourse behind home plate or wherever it was in Baltimore, and shaking hands with all the security guards and stuff like that, and saying goodbye, walking into the clubhouse, the visiting clubhouse, putting on a new uniform, and going out and playing for the other team.
Now that's what I call a quick change.
It's awesome. I think that's cool. That's what makes baseball fun. One of the things, there's a lot of quick turnarounds for trades, but that's about as quick as you're going to get. And so there was this video going around yesterday where he walked out to the Toronto bullpen getting ready for the second game, and all the Baltimore relievers were looking on as he walked out there, and he kind of waved, and as he walked by, he shook hands, and it was sort of like somber in a way, but mostly just weird. That's one of the things that happens around this time of year as far as the trade deadline is concerned. Dominguez said yesterday, after the first game, I was in there with the guys, and they call me in and they tell me, hey, you got traded. Go to the next dugout. And Blue Jays manager John Schneider said he's been around. For one, he's got really good stuff. Talking about him as a player, he can miss bats, great fastball, great splitter. And also, as a result of that, the Blue Jays had to make a corresponding move because they added a player and somebody else had to be subtracted from the roster. Chad Green, longtime veteran major league reliever, got designated for assignment when that trade happened.
Wow.
And Schneider, the manager, said, quote, had to have a terrible conversation with Chad Green, who's been so good, not only for us, but his entire major league career. First and foremost, wish him the best. He's the definition of a professional. So there's always a good side and a bad side. It's a goofy one, but it happens every once in a while. And then on Hug Watch, there was also a video yesterday. The Twins have been the topic of much conversation during the trade deadline. I mean, frankly, everybody's a topic of conversation at the deadline because it feels like everybody basically is available unless you're a really good player on a really good team. But especially if you are a good player on a middling team, a team that might not make the playoffs, or a team that definitely won't make the playoffs. So Juan Duran from the Minnesota Twins, excellent reliever, stud, like 100-mile-an-hour stuff, fantastic. They caught him on video yesterday as the Twins were playing the Red Sox in the third inning. Joey, take a look at this. He was just hugging that's his bullpen catcher, and, just kind of walked away out of the frame. And that kind of went viral. Twitter grabbed that yesterday. I saw one from the John Boy Network. It said John Duran was seen on the broadcast getting a hug and leaving the bullpen. Side-eye emoji. Well, what was he doing? Was he getting traded? No. He was just giving a hug to his bullpen catcher. And now the entire internet exploded thinking that Juan Duran got traded, which would be a gigantic move at the trade deadline. He's one of the best closers in the game. And
tease you.
In fact, he just wanted to give a hug and a handshake to his fine bullpen catcher, which was fantastic. So we might be on hug watch just a little bit too much right now.
We get a little too excited for the hugs.
Maybe just a little bit too much. Oh yeah, and then we were going to get to this as well, as we got a couple minutes left here. Netflix told us over the weekend that Happy Gilmore 2 is the most watched debut weekend ever for Netflix. 46.7 million views.
That's amazing.
For Happy Gilmore 2, which I watched over the weekend.
I watched 2 on
You
Sunday
watched
night.
it? You enjoyed it?
Yep, I enjoyed it.
All right, good. And I like that title. This is what I wanted to talk about. I like that title for this movie. Most watched Netflix movie on opening weekend. Honestly, that feels about right to me.
That's appropriate.
I don't need to, it's not going to win any Oscars. It's not going to do this and this and this. And it's not, culturally important or relevant or anything like that. But it's a Netflix movie. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed my 2 hours. I wish it was like an hour 45 or an hour and a half, but it was 2. I enjoyed that time, and now it lives on Netflix for probably a while. But like, if the lasting legacy of Happy Gilmore 2 is it was just a really good Netflix movie, I think it's a really great place for it to be. 46 million people though watched it.
A lot of people invested their time.
So
with Adam Sandler.
We asked the question earlier of what the best Netflix original movie of all time was, and I got some suggestions coming back. I forgot about this several years ago. I forgot about The Irishman. You remember that?
I didn't watch it, but I remember the name.
So it's a long, like, De Niro, mob movie. I never watched it either, but it's really long. But it was kind of in the ilk of like Godfather, Goodfellas, stuff like that.
Okay.
And a lot of people were talking about at the time that might be the actual winner. And then someone also said, let me find it here. It was, the Knives Out, the second, not Knives Out 1. I saw that in the movie theater.
Oh yeah.
Knives Out 2. I think it was called Green Onion or Glass Onion. Yeah, Glass Onion. I watched that on a plane once. That movie was pretty solid. Apparently, they're going to be doing a third Knives Out movie
sometime later this year,
coming up shortly as well. So maybe Netflix is a little bit better than I'm giving them credit for. But mostly when I think about Netflix movies, I just think about garbage. But there's been some good ones.
Yeah, a little low budget filming.
Yep. It's not low budget. It's rarely low budget, but it is low quality.
Yeah, low quality.
It's high budget for whatever reason. I don't know where Netflix gets this crap, but I do. They charge 1 billion people $20 a month to watch their content.
I watched a handful of their stuff, and some of the stuff I've watched was pretty enjoyable to watch.
Anything good? Any recs?
I remember when they did the 10-part series of Jeffrey Dahmer. I watched that.
Yes, that was a Netflix.
Yeah, that was a Netflix. That was very interesting.
Yep. There's been some good stuff.
Some of the old history films. I'm a history guy.
Okay.
Kind of like tune in and see what happened before I was born.
All right, maybe I should give Netflix a little bit more credit than what they're getting at the moment. All right, let's take a quick time out. We have a couple poll questions that we'll address the answers to. Joey's going to tell you what to watch. Then we get to the crossover. All to come in the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. right, a couple things here before we get to the polls. First of all, yes, we do shout-outs on the Connor Happer Show. Everybody say hi to Aaron. Aaron, you can see him. He's like the 7-foot guy who operates a camera at every sporting event you go to around here. He's very tall. Hopefully you're not sitting directly behind him. Aaron's our guy. He has the responsibility of following me around sometimes this ballpark, which is a bit of a chore.
I would not want to sit behind him because I'm a short dude.
Exactly. So luckily he gets to operate the areas of the ballpark that are a little bit sunken down. You know what I mean?
I would need a booster seat.
Right. So that's a good thing. Shout out to Aaron. The other thing is we appreciate the Omaha Storm Chasers for having us out today, and we remind you to come out the rest of the week tomorrow at 7:05. Check this out. It is Busch Light Night. Ooh, watch out. Friday, 7:05, Saturday, 6:05, Sunday, 5:05. They'll have Salute to Agriculture Night on Friday, Everything Nebraska Night on Saturday with some special appearances there, and then Sunday, Elkhorn, Gretna, and Millard Community Night. Always a good time to hang out at the ballpark, the Omaha Storm Chasers. All right, Joey, let's get to our poll questions today.
Yes, sir.
2 of them. Should you be naked outside? No.
Absolutely not.
All right, thank you. 63% only say no. What the hell? Only 63%? This should be like 85% no.
I guess it's their choice.
Wow. All right. And finally, do you use bar soap or body wash? Body wash.
I'm a body wash.
Not to be too personal here. 60. That's about what I thought. 67% body wash. Split 2/3 body wash, 1/3 soap. Or bar soap. I guess that makes some sense. All right, Joey. What are we watching tonight?
Okay, we got the WNBA tonight. ESPN3's got a couple. At 6, it's the Mercury at Fever. At 7 on ESPN3, the Dreamin' Wings. At 7 o'clock on ESPN, you got the Liberty at the Lynx. Good matchup there.
Nice.
In the MLB, we got a handful of games happening right now. The Royals are in the bottom of the second against the Braves. Scoreless there.
Love it. Well, the fine folks who are about to take over the studio are probably excited that game's not on right now.
But
it would be on if it was me and Josh and it was back in the studio. We'd be fighting each other right now. Drunkenly.
There's a triple-header on the MLB Network at 3:10. The Mets at Padres. The middle gap, it's the Dodgers and Reds. And then the nightcap, Mariners at the Athletics. I know Stibbs will be watching that.
Stibbs will be tweeting about it. That's for
Staying
sure.
up late tonight.
Yep.
Outside of sports, couldn't find a whole lot. Obviously, Gordon Ramsay's got some shows tonight, and there's a cartoon I'll probably be watching late tonight.
What do you mean, a cartoon?
A specific cartoon.
South Park. That's a great call. A good call. Just tell people that South Park's on. That's fine.
Oh, yeah.
South Park's on at what time and where?
9 o'clock Comedy Central.
Bang. Watch South Park.
And I know many folks have been wondering because the last 2 days there was the Indiana Jones trilogy on Paramount Network. It's not on tonight. It's Top Gun.
Did you ever get around to it, watching it yesterday?
I watched it a couple weeks ago.
Okay, all right. So you don't need to.
So I've been seeing a couple of those movies a couple of times.
Joey, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling us what to watch.
Yeah.
And hopefully you enjoyed the baseball game, in which you probably didn't watch much of. Or maybe you have been. I don't know what you've been doing.
I saw a
over
flying
here.
bat over at the first base dugout.
I've been yapping this entire time. You probably have just been watching the game.
I've just been glancing every once in a while.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's
We get some pretty good
multitasking.
YouTube clips on here, probably. All right, that's it for us today from the ballpark. I suppose we are coming back because the crossover is coming up. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Once again, crossover is next.